Boom. What's up, fam? Anthony Johnson here today, founder of 21 Studios, 21 Convention, 22 Convention, 21 University. Today here with an special episode of 21 Live. I have with me none other than Isabella Riley. She's an influencer and ambassador for Prager University, Turning Point USA, and a few other organizations. She has a giant TikTok. You can see here with like 130,000 followers. I found her on Twitter a few weeks ago, and it's kind of interesting, the tweets and ideas that we're going to get into. She's a proud anti-feminist and liberty extremist, self-described. Big fan of Ayn Rand, Ron Paul, and I'm asking a lot of questions here on the show today. So without further ado, please help me welcome to the show, Isabella Riley.
Hi, thank you so much for having me on.
Yeah, I'm excited. I've been following your tweets for a while.
Yeah, what do you think of them? Your tweets are like, sometimes I'll read them like, damn, even I'm shocked by what you tweet, which is like, I never get shocked by what anyone tweets. So we're on the same vibe about our kind of tweets.
Yeah, the feeling's mutual. The stuff you tweet sometimes, anti-19th Amendment and shit like this, I'm like, holy shit. This girl's like pro-patriarchy, wifed up, knocked up, breeding, stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, I would have read like books in the background like you do, but as a woman, I can't read. So it's a shame. I don't try to play a part that I'm not.
Yeah, women shouldn't read and drive anyway, so that's fine.
Exactly. That is a fact. But yeah, your tweets are very funny, and I'm shocked. I feel like you would get in more trouble because, in the world we live in of identity politics, you can't say these things as especially a white man. Like you're really living on the edge. Like I'm not even that, controversial because I'm a woman. So
yeah,
kudos to you.
Thanks. Well, let's get into some questions I have. I'll get the hard ones out of the way first, some of them anyway.
I'm curious what the hard questions will be. Okay, let's go.
Yeah, they're going to be fun. So as you know, you've been called, sometimes you're criticized, insulted and stuff. You're called conservative bimbo. In the manosphere, they call you chameleon. It's even been reported to me that you're the world's biggest conservaho, the world champion, apparently. So what do you think about insults and criticisms you get like this? Are you fake? Are you for real? What do you think about that?
I really don't care. I never read hate comments. I get a lot of hate comments, especially on TikTok. I never really read them. They don't bother me. If you're leaving someone hate comments or you're coming at someone with negativity, it's because you're insecure yourself. So I don't really care. If anything, I feel bad for the people leaving the hate comments because they must be so miserable and bitter in their own lives that they feel the need to go spend their precious time to go leave a comment on someone else's stuff. Whereas for me, I have to force myself to leave comments and interact with my friends' posts because they do it with me and I feel like I want to support them. So I would never take time out of my day to go watch something I don't like and just criticize someone. Anyone that's calling me a conservaho. First of all, I'm not even conservative. Second of all, if anyone knows me in real life, I'm like a Mother Teresa. I'm not flirtatious at all. I'm super just ew to everyone. So it's just so not like me. So I mean, I don't really care. For me, I know what my flaws are. And I'm fine with that. If someone points them out, then I'm like, you know what? That's cool. I agree with you. That's a flaw. But if someone points out something that's not true, and it's, at least in my opinion, then it doesn't bother me because it's not true. So why would I let something not true bother me?
Well put. Well put. Now, I haven't seen the comments on your TikTok, but I have seen them a little bit on Twitter, obviously, and especially on Instagram. On Instagram, they're fucking savage. These beta males come out of the woodwork to just roast you, attack your friends and shit, I think.
Really? On Instagram? I feel like on Instagram I don't get hate comments mostly. Although this recent video I did, the one where I'm like this. And it's because on TikTok I'm getting a lot of good positive comments, but TikTok is by far the worst. I have one video on TikTok that has over 40,000 comments, and they're all hate. It's hate. There's 2,000 likes, 40,000. No one's ever been ratioed harder in their lives than that post. So I love it though. The comments, the hate comments they bring. That's the only reason my videos do well on TikTok is because the leftists and the feminists especially get so mad they can't help themselves. Their keyboard warriors have to leave 1,000 hate comments, and boom, I get interactions, it boosts my posts, and now I swear all my videos are on the For You pages of all the leftists because they're the ones who interact with it. So I'm fine with it.
Who do you think you piss off more, leftists or feminists or beta males? Which get you the most hate? You call them certified beta males too, I think. You have special names for them and shit.
Yeah. Certified. I would say feminists because I think feminists feel so betrayed by women who don't buy into feminism and are so pro-patriarchy. And I mean, in the negative sense, I don't agree with their definition of the patriarchy, but I think feminists, they just feel so betrayed. I think beta males are just, I don't even know, I try not to interact with them, and it's really embarrassing what they put. So I wonder.
Here's one of your tweets about basically beta males or male feminists. I call them Vichy males, actually, Vichy French.
That's perfect. That's perfect. Yeah.
You say, hopefully natural selection takes care of the male feminists, basically these beta males.
Yeah, no, seriously though, because women from the left, do they really like the male feminists? Like, do you really find these like weak beta males attractive? No, we all want like a macho man. Like, let's stop playing pretend. We all want that. I've seen so many liberal girls on TikTok be like, oh, my Republican boyfriend, ew, like my conservative boyfriend. But okay, so let's all admit that we all agree that we like the conservative traits in a man more than the liberal feminists, which the male feminists are the creepiest ones. It's like they're trying, I don't know if you've heard this new term, they call them like allies. Like, we're an ally of the feminists, and it's creepy. Like, in, white people will do this with, the Black Lives Matter people. I'm an ally to you. Like, let me signal that I'm an ally. It's all fraud, like fake stuff, and it's not for me.
Yeah. You have another tweeter too, kind of, harping on this. See, toxic masculinity is hot. I have not seen a woman tweet this before like you, so it's kind of interesting to see more of this.
Yeah. So it's funny because there's not much like thought process behind these. I just have random thoughts in my head and then I just like put them out there. So I think I tweeted that yesterday. I was just sitting on the couch and I was like, toxic masculinity is hot. And it's just, it kind of is though. Like, I'm really not talking about toxic in a negative sense. Like, what the left will say is, these macho masculine men in, positions of power. Like, that's kind of hot for a girl. Like, you want a guy that is powerful and just strong. Like, let's stop pretending. So I just randomly thought about it. So yeah.
So do you have any more further thoughts on toxic masculinity, and is masculinity healthy? I mean, this is a really big thing that's been ramping up the past couple of years. We've seen with Me Too and crap like that. And it comes along too with more sayings like the future is female, all this like negative garbage.
Yeah, I don't even know what the future is female even means. Like, clearly, it's kind of like Beyonce's song, like, "Who Runs the World, Girls." Cool. Clearly, they don't. Like, that's just a lie. Like, the entire song's a lie, whatever. But I don't really think toxic masculinity is negative in the sense that the left talks about it. I just think that they hate that men tend to hold positions of power, and I think they're just jealous of it. And that's what feminism is doing today. They're jealous of the positions of power that men tend to hold. So what they want to do is they want to attack men for all these masculine traits and why they're in these positions of power, take over those positions of power. So what they really want is female supremacy. But it's very strange because at the same time, they want to destroy gender. So they keep contradicting themselves, and that's why this irrational movement won't survive, and because it keeps canceling out itself. But it's very interesting.
Yeah, you mentioned female supremacy, and I'm actually known for saying that feminism is a toxic, basically hate and supremacist movement in disguise, obviously.
Yes.
Do you consider that as well, like a hate movement, a supremacist movement?
Oh, for sure. What it is, it's kind of like, even with, the black and white people, like, dynamic in America, a lot of Black Americans and like BLM think that white people have dominated these positions of power. So they kind of want to get back at them. It's like revenge. They want to take their positions. They want the power. So it's like a power struggle that these feminists are trying to have with men. And then same with Black Lives Matter with, white people, apparently. So I feel like it just battles for power.
Okay. So, talk to me about mansplaining. I've seen you tweet a little bit about this. I didn't find a tweet on the fly for it. But how do you view mansplaining, and what role has it taken in your life?
I didn't even know it was a term until I think it was the vice president debate between Pence and Kamala Harris, when they said that Pence was mansplaining. So I never even heard about the term since then. But when I first heard, I was like, wow, that is an amazing term that I just want to keep talking about. And I just love being like, yeah, feminists would be a lot smarter if they just like listen to some mansplaining for once. Or, the reason I attack feminists so much is because they're like predominantly like the most hate comments I get on TikTok. So I'll often just respond to a hate comment and just kind of, mess with them and troll them, or, just put on display how crazy they are. So I will just say, yeah, the only reason I know anything about taxes is because a man will mansplain it to me. You should really try listening to mansplaining. You'll learn a lot, women. And I just love trolling them because they buy into it every time. They just feed right into it. They can't help themselves. They're like, I call them rabid feminists because I really believe that they're like rabid about this stuff. They're very emotional as women. So yeah.
Yeah, like little raccoons running around just crazy and shit.
Yes.
So have you always been this inflammatory? Like I mentioned to you a little while ago, like your tweets are not just savage, they're highly inflammatory, which I really admire. I try to do the exact same and piss all these people off. But have you always been like this? Was this a more recent development in your life?
I've always been like this. So I just have always been a very outspoken person and, not afraid to disagree with people around me. I've always, like, everyone has always said, like, if you're around me, I'm always like, I hate this. I hate this. I have super polarized opinions about everything. I like love or hate everything, mostly hate. I'm very picky. Like, seriously, I remember one time, I went on vacation with my friends and her family, and her dad was like, is there anything that you like? You just keep saying that you hate this. And I just am always, giving my unwanted, unsolicited opinion all the time. But yeah, I've always been pretty inflammatory. I love saying things that will shock people and like make people feel uncomfortable and just seeing how they react. And I love especially when I troll people online and then they don't get it. Like, that's my favorite thing, is when they don't get it and I just keep going and seeing how far I can take it. And then they just, I don't know, it's amazing. So yeah, I've always been like this. Have you always been like that?
Yeah, I would say so. It's gotten more aggressive as I've gotten older and stuff like that, but definitely it's been like that for most of my
Well,
life
yeah, so
throughout
like
school.
here's a good example. So in high school, my parents didn't allow me to have a smartphone until I graduated because I was always in trouble for
Holy
saying
shit.
outrageous things and like bullying. It wasn't, listen, it was a girlfriend group. This girl just, it was a big situation. This one girl, came at me. But I remember when I was like, when Twitter just started, I didn't even have a Twitter, but I was on my friend's phone and I tweeted from her account. Her mom got really mad at me and I tweeted from her account, how come whenever I spread my legs, I smell fish? So it's just like these things.
Whoa.
I always have said stuff like that, like just outrageous
Jesus.
things. And it
And
always,
you went to Catholic school your whole life or something like that, right?
yes, yes. So
Mm.
I just always was saying outrageous things my entire life. I've always had like an inappropriate mind, taking things way, everyone's always said, Isabel, you always just take it way too far. And I'm like, you know what, that I just find that interesting and funny. And guess what? If that alienates you, good. I'm someone that I will never change who I am to try to fit in with someone. I prefer when people don't like me because then it's less people I have to deal with, less people I have to pretend that I have to like. So I love when my like polarizing personality just alienates people because it's like, good. If you don't like me, good. Let's not hang out. But it really
What's
weeds
funny
out.
to me is talking
Yeah.
to you, you don't seem very hateful or very hateful. Like you're saying these things and I know you're sincere, but you just seem like very kind and pleasant and like sweet and stuff. It's kind of funny to see this go on.
Yeah. So
Like
that's the
I
thing.
hate everything. Fuck all these opinions, blah, blah, blah. And you just seem very calm and like sweet.
Yeah, I'm not like an angry person at all. I just like have strong opinions and my mood never really fluctuates unless something severe happens in the good or bad way. Like,
Mm.
I don't understand why people cry. Like I'll cry if one of my pets dies, but there's no other reason why I would ever cry. It's a weird, I don't get it. I don't know if you've ever seen me tweet about this, but I'm not kidding. I don't laugh out loud. Like I've never laughed out loud, like sincerely. Nothing I ever find is that funny. I could find something funny, but I don't get how people can physically laugh out loud. I'm jealous. I will see like my sister, when she starts laughing, she can't stop. And I'm like, I'm jealous. That looks like an enjoyable time. I wish I could experience that much joy, but nothing makes me laugh out loud. And I'm still waiting for the day for that to happen. But
Yeah, it'll happen. Don't worry.
I don't know.
I'll make sure of it.
I've had to learn to fake laugh or else it's really awkward for me
Mm.
just to like,
Well,
someone say something. I'm like,
let's take a few steps back. We were talking about mansplaining a few minutes ago. So
right.
talking about your relationship with your father, would you consider him an expert mansplainer, a professional mansplainer, things like this?
Yeah, so my dad always says that I am him with a vagina. I'm him with a girl. I'm a clone of him. I always am told that. Yeah, so we have the same exact personality. The reason why I love like Ron Paul, Ayn Rand is because when I grew up, my dad was obsessed with them. Like I always say, my dad was Ron Paul, my mom was Ayn Rand. My dad literally has an Ayn Rand tattoo on him, like her portrait with like a little money sign tattoo. So that's why I'm so extreme in my beliefs because I was just like raised, indoctrinated in like the best way possible. So I was exposed to these ideas very young. And yeah, no, my dad is just like me, never shuts up, always has to give his unsolicited opinion. He's very smart too, logical person. So yeah, he definitely mansplains a lot and he definitely mansplains to me, my mom, my sister all the time. And, we always say that me and him are the logical ones and they're the emotional, women of the group. So my dad always says you're way more of a guy than like my guy friends. Like I swear, I tweeted, I think a couple of days ago, most of my guy friends, if not all of them, all the guys in my life are more emotional than me. I even say my dad's more emotional than me. I don't get emotional. So I really do feel like I'm a man trapped in a woman's body. So I might come out as a tranny one day.
Wow, I hope not. I'm not into the trans stuff, but you're definitely female in the brain, and I think in some ways that maybe you don't realize quite yet.
I'm very like feminine. I love like being girly. I like makeup. I like cute clothes. I don't do my nails because I enjoy biting them too much. But I'm girly in that sense. But in terms of how I think, that's what the big thing is. How I think is definitely like a guy. Like I have like the biggest like BS detector. I can always tell if you're like lying, coming up with an excuse. I'm like my family will always say, you always have to pick apart everything. Like I will remember everything that you say to me, and if you ever contradict yourself, like years later, I will bring that up and use it against you. So I just always think
That's a very feminine thing, actually. That's something women do a lot.
that's true because they're very like calculating, like they're very calculative minds. So that's true. But
And I
I
think
don't know.
your parents are still married. You mentioned your dad mansplains a lot to your mom and your sister.
Yes, yeah. They were each other's first together since they were like 15.
Wow.
So yeah, they've been together for a while. Although they're younger because they had me when they were 20. So they're only 20 years older than me. So they're not like crazy old.
Yeah,
but
back in the day though, it's probably a little more normal. My grandma had my uncle at like 16. That was a long time ago, but
yeah, wow, that's crazy. I could not imagine.
Let's shift gears a little bit.
Okay.
You've been following, obviously, my Twitter. You've seen "Make Women Great Again." How do you feel about that? And what was your first impression about that?
It's genius. It really does make
Like,
sense. This trend of, thanks to feminism, of making women ugly, and like, I swear to God, they just want to make women as ugly as possible. And women,
yep.
it's like, and it's also this idea that women would be happier, like, being married to a corporate job than being married to a husband. And it's all against, the feminists claim that they care about the woman's right to choose, but it's only the woman's right to choose what they want them to do. You can't be a stay-at-home mom. You can't, and realistic. So what's funny, news, I actually like don't want kids. So this is the funny thing about my Twitter. I like play the part of a trad wife, but I'm like, I have no maternal instinct whatsoever at all. But if I were to have kids, I'm sure I would like them. So I understand that. Like, I love animals. I like act like they're my children. So I'm sure if I had a baby, I would feel the same way. But I have no like instinct in me to be like, I really want kids. And that's mostly because I want to be very selfish in my career. And I feel like kids need a stay-at-home mom. So I feel like it wouldn't be fair. But if I had a husband that really wanted kids and whatever, and if I ever got pregnant, I would never, I'm not a child murderer, so I would have the kids. But I don't really have a maternal bone in my body. I forgot the main question.
At this point, I'm not even sure. You just keep going to tangent. It's great though. Just keep going. This is
okay. You can just ramble. That's the thing.
Yeah,
I don't know how to shut up.
No,
but
everyone's gonna love it. Just keep going. This is great.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. It's very weird because you would think from my Twitter that I'm like, I want to be a stay-at-home mom and just have like 20 kids, and that's really not the case whatsoever. But
you're 22, right?
Yeah.
So 22 is actually peak fertility for women too. So you're actually the most fertile you've ever been in your life, and you'll ever be. So it's kind of interesting that you're saying that.
I didn't know that. I felt like it'd be younger, honestly.
Nope. 21, 22. You're right at that age. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
you mentioned abortion. Let's talk about that.
Yes.
So how do you feel about abortion? How do you view it? Like, what are your actual philosophical stances on it? Why do you oppose it? What are the reasons, if you can define them?
So one thing, so I'm pro-life. I don't even like when people say I think it's a life. I know it is. I follow the science. It's a life. I don't need to say I think it's a life when life. I think life starts at conception. No, it does. Okay, that's what the science says. So let's get around that. I'm very particular with language. So I would never, get an abortion. I think it's disgusting. I think it's really, I don't understand why the feminists have really championed abortion. Like, if anything, just say that people get into tough circumstances and it's ugly, but like sometimes it needs to happen, which I disagree with, but that's a lot better than shout your abortion. I don't understand why they're so passionate about this. It's a very strange thing.
No, they celebrate it now too. It's sick. Like they really.
Yeah, no, they celebrate it. Yeah, something that annoys me too is people will say, "Oh, well, you're just you're Catholic or you're Christian." And I'm like, no, I'm an atheist. I literally am not religious. I went to Catholic school my whole life. I say I'm agnostic now because the only reason I was an atheist before was I was like, well, I don't have proof that there's a God, but I also don't have proof that there's no God. So I'm agnostic. I don't care. I don't find the topic interesting whatsoever. Yeah. But talking about being inflammatory, in high school, I used to say to my religion teachers that religious people are as dumb as liberals. So I used to say these things all the time. I used to get in trouble all the time. It was always a problem. But yeah, so
I was the same way. Every troublemaker, rascal, these things. It's good. It's good. It's a good way to live.
I used to I remember my entire life growing up, English teachers always hated me. The English teachers were always like the liberal women. I remember freshman year in high school, we were talking, she was very political, and we were talking about, we should ban guns because that will stop gun violence. And I'm like, well, we should, I don't think the fact that we make it illegal to do drugs, it really stops people from doing drugs, it doesn't make sense. People are still going to do these things, so I used to always argue and debate with these people, and everyone knew in high school, like, I was pro-Trump. So it was like it was sad because he won right after.
Wait. You were in high school when Trump was running in 2015, 2016?
Yeah, so I graduated 2016.
God.
And I was so mad at I was like so crazy about it, so annoying. And I'm like so mad that I had he won after I graduated because I wanted to rub it in everyone's faces so badly. Nice. But unfortunately it didn't happen. And now I'm like, damn, he lost. Yeah,
for now. We'll see what happens in 2024. How do you feel about Trump in 2024, DeSantis, things like that?
So I'm kind of in a pickle because I don't know if you're familiar with Dave Smith. He's like a libertarian. He'll be running in the libertarian ticket. I mean, he is, but he just hasn't fully announced yet.
Sure.
I agree with literally everything that he says. So it's like, and he doesn't even think he's going to win. It's more of like Ron Paul spread the ideas of liberty. He's trying to just wake people up. He doesn't really think that he's going to win. So I'm going to be in a struggle because in New York, I'm not really wasting a vote anyways, because it's going to go to the Democrat anyways, but I don't know. It's going to be tough, but Trump,
He's more savage than the libertarian candidates recently sucked like so bad.
oh,
The woman, like they're terrible. Even
yeah.
Gary Johnson
So
fell
I
apart.
don't, right.
Terrible.
So I don't know if you keep up with like that. There's a lot of fighting going on in the Libertarian Party right now.
Yeah.
So I identify with the Mises Caucus people, the Mises Institute, Austrian economics. That's me. Like all that, that's me. That's how I feel. Like Rothbard, Ayn Rand's kind of in there too. That sort of thinking, like ultra capitalistic free market. That's how I feel.
Tom Woods, right?
What?
Tom Woods.
Yes, I love Tom Woods. Yes, exactly. Yeah. So that's how I think. Dave Smith's friends with Tom Woods. I don't know. Do you know Michael Malice?
Yeah, I know that guy on Twitter.
He's
I saw
so
him.
funny.
Yeah, he's good.
He is so funny. He's like the king of trolling on Twitter. Yeah. But I'm almost an anarchist. Like I'm almost an ANCAP. I'm trying so hard not to be because at the same time, I want a wall. I want a wall around the entire perimeter. I don't care. Screw Canada too.
Your tweets come out about these things. I see them, and I can see you shifting ideologically over time. But you're at such a young age that you're going to keep, figuring out.
What do you think I clicked on?
Well, being ANCAP, I can see you trending in that direction, exactly like you're saying. Like I've seen your tweets kind of lean that way.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely figuring that stuff out right now and watching, these people like Tom Woods, Michael Malice, Dave Smith, everything they say, I've never disagreed with it, but I also feel like I do want border security, and the thing is with the past libertarian candidates, they're the Lulbergs, the woke libertarians. That's why if you go in my bio, it says paleo libertarian, because I want to differentiate myself from the woke Lulbergs because they're insane. These people are just like leftists. These woke libertarians call someone like Dave Smith a Nazi.
Damn.
They call him a Nazi. So they do the same exact thing that the left does. So that's why I differentiate myself from them. But I also don't what do you consider yourself? Conservative, like Trumplican?
No, I'm a Ron Paul Republican, I would say, and an objectivist, both politically and in terms of a religion. Is your dad a objectivist too?
Yeah, I don't think he calls himself like an objectivist, but Ayn Rand is like his main bitch for sure. He has a face on his lip. Like he literally has a face like this big on him, tattooed. So, okay, so
young. He must be in his 40s. Yeah, wow, that's incredible.
Yeah, he's 42. So,
that's so young. Holy shit.
Yeah, so that's something. It's so funny. I don't know if you get this too, but so many people will be like, "Oh, if you like Ayn Rand, if you like Ron Paul, you shouldn't like Trump." And I'm like, okay, these people online love to tell me what I can and cannot think. Just because I like someone doesn't mean I agree with all their policy positions. So I'm like the opposite of most conservatives where they'll be like, I like Trump for his policies, but his rhetoric, I don't really like that. His tweets, I'm not for it. I'm the opposite. I like his rhetoric. I like his tweets. The meaner, the better. That's what I liked about him. I liked how he was
I was going to ask you about this.
Yeah, I like how he's like the manifestation, like the middle finger to the political establishment, the corporate press, all of that. I like that. I think he opened up a conversation. He really popularized the term fake news, enemy of the people. He really made that a thing where so many people, if you don't have a phrase for it, it's hard to kind of conceptualize it. So he really woke a ton of people up. That being said, I wish he did more. I wish he actually built the wall. And I think, he did increase the size of the government. I did like his tax cuts, but there wasn't, his policies weren't on like what I would perfectly want. The only person I fully agree with is myself, So people are very annoying online to tell me what I can and cannot think if I think something.
Would you have preferred Ron Paul over Trump?
Yes.
Okay.
He would never get elected.
Yeah. So policy-wise, I understand what you're saying. I was a huge Ron Paul guy back in the day, 2009, 2012, stuff like that when he ran.
Right. So that's the reason why Dave Smith wants to run, because he became a libertarian because of Ron Paul. So many people did. He really brought these liberty messages to the forefront on the presidential stage, just being there, even though he didn't win. He really started a liberty movement. So that's what Dave Smith is trying to do, because ever since he hasn't run anymore, it's kind of died down.
Yeah.
The woke libertarians have taken over.
Talk to me a little bit. I know, and it sucks because it used to be so much more hardcore back in the day. Talk to me a little bit more about Ron Paul. You mentioned your dad obviously is super into him. You raised on this, like a diet of Ron Paul and Ayn Rand. But how young were you when you actually remember hearing about these ideas and these names like Ron Paul? Were there like figures in your head, like bedtime stories about Ron Paul? Like what's going on there?
Always. My dad was just always complaining about the government. So as long as I can remember, I probably don't have any memories of specific political issues until maybe like early high school, definitely like freshman year of high school, maybe middle school, because I was always like running my mouth. But yeah, and then Ayn Rand, I started watching interviews of her like nonstop like a few years ago, and I never even realized that the portrait was her until I started watching interviews of her. And I remember I was like on my back porch with my father one day, and I looked, I'm like, wait, that's Ayn Rand. Like I never even put two and two together. I'm kind of slow as a woman. So what I love about Ayn Rand is she's just so hardcore, and she, like me, never laughs. She's always like just so like stern, and she does not care to just shock people. She's also not just saying shocking things to shock people, but she's like, I love the whole, and a lot of conservatives will get mad at me for saying this, like the whole the concept of the virtue of selfishness. I so agree with that. I really do think that it is wrong to live your life for other people, because that's a lie. Everyone lives their lives for themselves. If I help someone, it's because I have an interest in helping them. I don't help people that I don't want to help. I get annoyed when people like reach out to me, like, oh, can you like do this or can you do that? Like, that's annoying. Like, I want to help people because I want to help people. You know, if you help pay for your like spouse's education or something, it's because you have an interest. You're in love with them. You want to help them. You have an interest in it. So it's somewhat selfish. And I think that there is like a negative stigma around the word selfish. And I think, you know, it's not selfish to want to keep your own money that you earned. Like these sort of things that the left will say it's selfish. And something like, I always had libertarian principles and just things that I would get enraged about growing up. I remember in high school at lunch, I would have, you know, I'd bring a little lunch, and my friends that I'd sit with would be like, oh, can I have this? Can I have that? And I'd be like, no, I brought this for me. Like, this is my lunch that I brought to enjoy. I didn't bring it for you. And then they'd be like, you're so selfish. Stop being crazy. What's wrong? Just share. What's the big deal? And it's that same exact principle. The left will be like, you have enough money. Why don't you want to share? Like, stop being so selfish. Like, no.
Pay your fair share. What are you doing? Just pay your fair share. Give me all of it.
Exactly. Yeah. So I had situations like that growing up that I always noticed. And now looking back at it now, like from now, I'm like, wow, these are really just simple, like the libertarian principles that Ron Paul talks about, you know, non-aggression, everything's voluntary, you choose what you want to do. That's like the basis of capitalism. That's why it's the only moral system. It's because it's the only system where both parties are just voluntarily choosing to engage in commerce with each other. Yep. So that's the only, you know, moral system. And that Ayn Rand says it's the most attacked system. And it kind of has to be, because it makes so much sense that obviously it needs to have the most targets on its back. It's going to, you know, only the effective people in politics get, you know, all these hit articles against them. They're trying to take down someone like Matt Gaetz because he's so effective. So, yeah.
Well put, well put. You're well read on these issues. This is pretty good. Let's shift gears a little bit. Talk to me about fat women. Fat feminists, fat women, body positivity, fat positivity, all this garbage you keep making up. So what's your opinion on American fat women?
Okay, so I'm like, I hate all fat people. I hate the excuses that fat people give, you know, oh, I have big bones. Oh, my family's big. Like, just don't freaking eat. You know, healthy food's so expensive. Not eating is free. It's literally free. It's the cheapest diet you could possibly have. And yep. I just don't have any sympathy for it. Like I said earlier, I just always like, I can pick up like BS excuse detector all the time. Like I just cannot stand excuses. I can't stand when people lie to justify like their own, you know, actions. Just own it. Be like, you know what? I eat too much. I don't exercise enough. I like to eat unhealthy. Let's stop lying. And then also the body positivity movement. There's nothing positive about being overweight. It's pretty disgusting that we're today in society, we're like perpetuating and promoting having these unhealthy lifestyles. You don't see people promoting being anorexic. People would freak out if that were to ever happen. So why are we promoting being, you know, morbidly obese? It's not beautiful. And something I always laugh at whenever there's like, you know, on Instagram, a fat girl posts like a bikini picture and you see all these girls in the comments, like, you look so good. Oh my God, you're so like gorgeous. I'm like, okay, let's stop lying, first of all. Like, and something I love too, and I've had to do this myself my entire life. If there's like a fat girl, she'll be like, oh my God, I wish I was like as skinny and small as you, blah, blah, blah. The best comeback you can say is, oh, but I wish I had your boobs. Oh my God, like I'm so jealous. Like you're so lucky. Like, no, I don't. But it's like the best cop out. But oh my God, if you're a fat girl with no boobs, I'm sorry.
You're flipping it back on them. You're pressure flipping. That's clever. That's good. Do you feel that in America, fat men and fat women are treated differently? And for example, I know for a fact that women are actually more prone in America to obesity and severe obesity. So they're actually affected more by it, which maybe is explaining why have such a bad relationship with it. But do you see a difference there in how men and women are treated when they're fat?
I guess that there's maybe a standard. Like I would much rather have a guy be like overweight than a girl. I think a girl like needs to have like a better looking body. You're supposed to be like more put together. So maybe there is more of a pressure, but I think that's a good thing. I think like bullying and everything is good. I mean, not in a terrible sense, but in a sense where, you know, you should feel some sort of pressure to, you know, like look just somewhat healthy. I mean, that's just normal. That's part of life. That's natural selection. So I don't know. I guess men, they don't tend to post pictures as much as girls online. So I guess they just have less pressure on them. But I think that makes sense. I don't know.
Yeah.
What do you think on that?
Yeah. Good question. I like this. So yeah, I think men are treated differently. Being a fat guy in America is not as accepted as women. It should be the other way around.
It's the other way around. Okay. Oh, I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying, because you don't want to criticize the woman, because there's so much pressure on women to look a certain way that like you feel like you can't say anything, but men can just be shit on all the time.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a victim hierarchy, number one. Number two, fat women to me are just gross. Like personally, like I wish them the best. I hope they lose weight, get healthy, and these things, but it's just fucking disgusting. I've thought that my whole life. And women should be. It's more important for them, I think, physically, sexually, attractively. It's not even a word, but you know what I mean.
I know what you mean.
They need to be lean and healthy. It's important, especially for fertility and things like this.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
Today it's being flipped upside down, I think. So there should be more shame and pressure on women to be lean. There should be some on men too. Dad bods, that's fucking gay. These fat dudes, these lazy bums, it's all like lame. These soy boys and stuff with their beer bellies. Like I'll talk shit about them all day long, but it's women that you're not allowed to criticize. That's the issue, I think, fundamentally. You can criticize fat guys, you can't criticize fat women.
That is so true. That is so true. And you always say, like, you know, girls will get mad if a guy is like, oh, I want her just to be skinny, but girls will be like, well, he needs to be over 6 feet. Well, bitch, you can control your weight. You can't control your height. So shut up. But yeah, no, I agree. There should be, you know, more shame on being skinny. I'm not saying that you need to be like anorexic or anything, but I agree. Like whenever I see, like, you know, I talk about this with people, and just, it's hard to respect someone when they're so huge, because it's like you're just a slob. Like you can't get it together to, I mean, I'm not saying that you need to be like super skinny, but you're so big, like you can't get it together. Like it's kind of shows laziness and weirdness. I don't know.
This guy gave us a $5 super chat, and he said, why aren't there any plus size male models? That's a good point. You see these fat models, I forget, Teresa or something, some fat.
I don't know any of their names, but yes, I try not to remember their names. I know. It's very like your job as a model. I'm sorry. Like part of the hard thing about being a model is being skinny and being like the perfect physique. Something that annoys me beyond all belief is when I'm like online shopping or something, and there's, you know, they mix in the plus size stuff, and I'm like, can you get this out? Can there be a separate section? But no, they don't want to make them feel like othered and sad. But it's like, you're wasting my time, then I have to scroll through these fat clothes. Like just differentiate it. Like they probably don't want to see all these skinny clothes either. Like just differentiate it, but they don't want to hurt their feelings. But yeah, that's a good question. Why is there no plus size guy models? For the exact reason what you said, is that we can't criticize women. They don't care about men, so they just don't want to. They don't want to, you know, leave out or exclude fat women, but they don't care about excluding fat men.
With Make Women Great Again, I have a hat coming too that says Make Women Thin Again. This is really fundamental to why I had it made. Is that you can't criticize women. You can't say let's make them great again, make them cook again, make them thin again, make them hot again, all these things. And so I think fundamentally it's what pissed. So you saw the news articles that pissed like millions of people off. It was a lot of fun. It was the biggest troll in my life. It was awesome.
I love it. And it's kind of weird because, you know, I do the same thing where I troll, but there's like some level of truth to it. Like,
exactly.
I'm kind of serious. Like we really should be like make women great again. Mattress lives matter. What does that even mean?
It's probably about fat women, I think, or something.
Oh, true. Yeah.
He can explain it. We'll see what he says.
Yeah. Explain yourself.
But we do need to make women great again. I mean, it's a troll, but it's also very real. The 22 convention banner that you see is a whole event I did for this. You should speak at it. I think you'll be killer. You'll piss off. I've never
spoken at anything. You sure you want a woman speaking?
We have a few of them, speaking this year. So
is there anyone I know?
Probably. I just invited Dr. Helen Smith. She's a famous anti-feminist. And I've confirmed now my favorite anti-feminist. She's the queen of anti-feminism, Professor Janice Fiamengo.
Wait, I feel like I've actually seen, was she ever on Dave Rubin?
Yep.
Okay, I think I've seen her. She's like, yeah, I think I've seen her, but she's awesome. And Christina Hoff Sommers, I mean, I don't think she calls herself like a rational feminist or something. I don't know.
Yeah, Christina Hoff Sommers is like Janice Fiamengo light. She's not as hardcore as Janice. Janice is like you, but older. She's like super, super savage, but very sweet Canadian lady, like has a little accent and stuff, but just very fiery in defense of men and thinks feminism is extremely fucking toxic.
Do you know what's her name? Camille Paglia?
Yeah, I'm gonna invite her too. I think I did actually.
She's amazing. She's so hardcore, and she is so on it. She's so smart. She's so on it. I really love her. And then I don't think like Katie Hopkins really says she's like a hardcore anti-feminist, but I know she does talk about being obese and fat people, and she's really inflammatory. I mean, she's been banned off everything for a while now. So she's hilarious too.
That's the British lady, right?
Yeah. She's actually, I think she's in America still right now, but she's hilarious. She's savage.
Yeah. Women have to be savage to be a good woman. Otherwise, there's losers.
Yeah, but I do think that sometimes, like, remember when Megyn Kelly, I actually never liked her. I remember when she was a part of like the Fox primetime lineup. My dad always liked her, and I know no one agrees with me. I prefer Sean Hannity over Tucker. I know no one agrees with me. It's fine. But yeah, you're like, yeah, I don't agree with you. No. But I think Tucker takes it too far sometimes with the whole like,
I don't think he takes it far enough. He needs to be more savage. I think he should be more hardcore.
No, I'm talking about in terms of he gets annoyed, he's so like anti-business, which I'm not pro-business. I'm anti-business merging with the government, but he's so like, he's not a capitalist, which I don't like.
Yeah, there's some issues I don't agree with Tucker on. Let me be clear on that.
That's what I mean.
Yeah,
but I love his anti-war positions. I just think Sean Hannity has like no ego, and I've heard that he really started a ton of careers, and whenever he has like a guest on, he always like talks them up, and whenever they try to say anything positive about him, he's like, no, like, let's talk about you. He just seems like he's so humble and like willing to help everyone and just so genuine. I just have always like gotten a good vibe from him, and I still like get a good vibe from Tucker, but sometimes he's like, okay, Tucker, chill, like you're being kind of annoying.
My issue with Sean Hannity is back in the day, he used to give Ron Paul like a lot of shit. And he's come around, I think, in recent years, I think, genuinely, when Trump came around. But back in like 2010, 2012, he's one of the guys.
Yeah, I wasn't watching it back then, so I don't really know. But I remember.
You were so young. You were just a kid. This is crazy.
Right. Like, I like on Fox, I like Mark Levin a lot. His podcast is good. He's like he can be very inflammatory too on his podcast. I mean, not on his Fox show, but on his podcast, like he's not afraid to call out names. But, so Megyn Kelly, back to her.
Okay.
I never really liked her, and I felt like when she chopped her hair off, she used to be kind of hot when she had long hair. And I swear to God, this is just my instinct. I don't know her. This is just my intuition. She chopped her hair because she wanted to seem like harsher, more of like masculine. Like she wants to play some persona that she's more of a tough woman to compensate for her being a woman. And I see this a lot in politics, where I see women who put on like a different personality whenever they're on camera, and they try to seem like way more flamboyant, louder, and like more tough. And it just seems like they're playing a character, which I always find super phony. I wonder, probably shouldn't say any names. I can't even think of any off the top of my head, but I've seen women where I'm like, okay, you're trying to be something you're not. Like how I'm talking right now is literally how I talk all the time. Like my friends, family are always like, you're yelling, shut up. That's just how I am. But there's some women that I feel like they feel inferior for being a woman, as they should. And
let's talk about conservative bimbos. That's a real term, I think, and I use it against some women and then not others. And I told you I'm still judging you and investigating you in these things. And partly that's true, partly I'm just teasing. But for example, Tomi Lahren is a perfect example of a conservative bimbo, fake MAGA thought. And I think her screeching against men a few months ago, back in like August or September, that demonstrated
all men are trash. All men are trash. That one. Oh my God, I saw that.
She's a pro-abortion, feminist essentially, disguised like a chameleon. That's why these guys in the manosphere, this community that I'm part of and stuff, that's why they'll accuse you of this, at least at a face glance. That's why I put the duck face on the, I had my video editor put that on. Because it's going to trigger all this.
No, I totally agree with you on her. And, the second she said abortion's a constitutional right, I don't respect you. Like, I'm sorry. It's just not. It's not. Just, you can say you're pro-abortion. Don't say it's a constitutional right. It's obviously not. It's not in the Constitution. That was completely made up. So let's put that aside. But I agree. I saw that video of her ranting about like her like ex-fiance or whatever. And that's something that pisses me off. I see it on TikTok all the time. It's a trend. All men are trash. I hate all men. And no, how about this? You are trash because you let men treat you like trash. I've never had a man treat me like trash because I wouldn't spend time and waste my time with a man that treats me like trash. So you attract what energy you're putting out also. You hate all men so much that you keep sleeping with them and you act like I don't know if you can say like bad term. Can you swear on here? I feel like I've said a couple swears.
Yeah, I don't care. Don't worry about it.
Okay, but like the last
if you talk about the 2020 election, just be very careful what you say because they're super gay about that on YouTube. Other than that, I don't give a shit.
Okay. Yeah. So like, they're sexually promiscuous. They like sleep with men all the time, like a different one every week. And it's like, well, if you're attracting, because, feminism tells them be a slut, that's like liberating. So then they act like a slut. And then they wonder why men treat them like trash because you're coming across as trash. They don't want to respect you because of what you're letting them do like the first time they meet you. So I'm so sick of women saying all men are trash. Look at yourself. If all the men that you've dealt with in your life are trash, I think the common denominator is you.
Bingo. And in my view, too, you mentioned feminism and, these things like this. In my view, feminism enslaves women to their own worst impulses. Promiscuous behavior for women makes them miserable very quickly, and the damage is typically irreversible, so it sucks. For men, it's a bit different. Even my hardcore Christian friends, they agree with that. But for women, it's just like, it's very toxic and very dangerous and a slippery slope off like a cliff.
Yeah, because men, they're like by nature, they're designed to spread their seed. They're designed to like reproduce as much as possible, where women are supposed to be selective and we're supposed to choose our partner. So yeah, I totally agree. I've, growing up in high school and college, all of my friends were, very sluts. They all were. I never judged them for it. I don't care. And they seem to have loved it, like whatever. I never judged them for it, but I've never had any interest in being like that in my life. I just don't. Like I said earlier, like I pretty much like not flirtatious. I like don't really care to get attention from guys. If anything, I'm like, unless you're my friend already, I like want nothing to do with you. Whereas my friends, like they would hook up in college, a different guy every night, like for 3 nights in a row, no problem. They loved it. They didn't seem to have any issues, but I could never do that. I think that's disgusting. Why would I want anyone to like see me like that unless I'm like, in love with them? I don't know. I don't get it. And I do think it really promotes the worst impulses in women and leads them down a life of misery where they, start devaluing themselves. And then by the time they're 40, they're like, oh, I don't really have a life partner. Maybe I can't have kids. And it kind of just leaves them down a life of misery.
Well, a lot of them my age and millennials, and you'll see this with Gen Z, I think, too, they end up single moms. They just get fuck around, they get knocked up, plan B, condom breaks, whatever. And there's a tidal wave of single mothers. You probably know about these stats. I can tell you, but it's a tidal wave of it, and it's sad.
Yeah, no, it is sad. And even promoting, like, I'm not against single motherhood. Like, if you have to, I'm happy you didn't abort your child, whatever, but we should not be promoting this lifestyle, like saying single mothers are heroes, blah, blah, blah. That's fine. Like, I'm happy they didn't abort the child, but we should not be like, when you promote things, you're going to get more of it. When you're giving like tax incentives to certain behaviors, you're going to get more of it, or less of it. If you subsidize it, you'll get more of it. So that's the same thing with with the tax code. They make it so if you don't have a man in the house, then you get more money or something like that. And I learned about that in some family law class a couple years ago. But and I obviously will get more of that.
You took a family law class in college or high school?
College.
Okay.
Yeah. So So it was an interesting class, but I agree. I think it's terrible. We should not be, promoting single motherhood. Again, I'm not against them. I'm happy you didn't abort your child, but
yeah,
it's not good for the child either. You kind of need to mail this. What?
72% of inmates in most prisons are like raised by single mothers. That's how bad it is for children. Ann Coulter wrote a whole book on it, actually, I think, that covers
really? What book? She's written so many books.
Yeah, I don't know the name of it, but I can find it. She's famous for it because it basically proves that single motherhood is the single worst thing that can happen to a child in America, beyond anything else. And it's across demographics, racial lines, religious lines, where you live, what state, all that crap. If you're raised by a single mother, not a single father, which is bad too.
But you have some like authority figure as a father. I'm sure you could be an authority figure as a mother too, but men tend to be more of the authority, powerful figures. So having at least the male energy is super important, especially for I mean, I guess in both, I was gonna say especially for men, because they could lead them down a life of violence, but for women too, because it's really, you hear about daddy issues and that's a thing. So
yeah, you seem to have the opposite of daddy issues.
Yeah, no, my dad and I are like best friends. We are like one and the same. So I've always he's always said I don't have to worry about you because he just like I can tell if someone's a good person or not. I've never really let anyone treat me like trash ever. Again, if you say all men are trash, you're the trash because you're letting them treat you like trash.
Now we have a question from a super chat here. One of the guys watching, Sean, $5. Thanks, bro. He said, question for Isabella. Who do you like as far as 2024 presidential candidates? I really like Candace Owens. Before you answer, Ayn Rand was famously asked on TV back in like 1972, something like that, on Phil Donahue. Would you ever vote for a female candidate for president specifically? So answer this question, and then if you have comments on would you even vote for a female candidate? Candace Owens or whoever, it doesn't matter. Female, period. Thoughts? Okay,
so female, period. I guess I would, but it's very unlikely. So if it was someone like myself that actually thinks like a guy, like you would have to think like a guy, not think like a female, which I've never met another girl that thinks like maybe like, Ann Coulter is a good example. She's really like, logical, whatever. I really like her. But in terms of Candace Owens, I mean, I would vote for her opposing a Democrat, but I feel like it's very premature. Is she even old enough? Technically, she is. She is.
You have to be 36. I don't even know if she's
old enough. She said that she was like, oh, I'm going to run in 2024. Maybe I'm hearing that wrong.
If she turns 36 by then, she could run. Or by the time, I think you have to be 36 by the time you swear in, probably. So 2025, January is when that would be. I don't know.
Okay. Well, she would not be my first choice. I mean, she's good. I mean, she just says a lot of great things, but she's really not my favorite person to listen to. Honestly, there's not many girls, and if any girls in politics that I really am like, I love everything she says. I like Ann Coulter, I like Katie Hopkins, I like Michelle Malkin, but those are really like the only really names that I feel like are tough women that I actually respect and impress.
Michelle's the Asian lady. I know she is. Yeah, she's cool.
She's awesome. She has like I think a Saturday show on Newsmax. She's really tough on like immigration, and she just she doesn't care about what anyone thinks, but I like Ron DeSantis. I think Trump's going to run though. He pretty much alluded to on Candace's show saying, I would announce something, but the FEC will get mad at me and will cause a ton of trouble. But showed weight, but he's also going to be having rallies. Like he's going to run. I don't know who's his VP would be. I think Candace even said, "Oh, me as the VP, haha," which that would be kind of interesting. But what are your thoughts on Candace?
I like Candace. I don't think she's a conservative. I know early on when she got started, there was a thing with Dave Rubin.
Conservative.
She's not a conservative bimbo. Conservative. She's not. I don't think.
Okay, yeah, I agree.
Yeah, she's not like Tommy Lauren. I think she's savage and legit. She takes a lot of heat, and she's strong. I think she's a good woman. Now I haven't done huge research into her, but those are my thoughts at this time. She's cool.
Yeah, no, I agree. She's definitely outspoken. Sometimes I feel like she does start fights just to blow up, but it works. So she blew up and she's doing great, and now she has a show with the Daily Wire, which is awesome for her. So I agree. I think I saw some old Twitter fight between her and Tommy, but I mean, yeah, Tommy is who are the other conservahos? I don't even know many conservative women. Who are they?
I found one at CPAC that I was disappointed in. I forget her name. She's the Kent State gun girl or something. She used to work at InfoWars. I don't know her name.
Caitlin Bennett.
Yeah, I don't like. She's definitely conservative.
So what's conservative?
For example, and specifically here, I'll answer that. And then also, this girl, what's her name? Katie or something?
Caitlin Bennett?
Yeah, Caitlin Bennett. Yeah. So that's based off a first impression. I talked to her for a few minutes. And that's, for example, opposed to, what's that black girl's name? She was tweeting at you the other day, that black girl, Caitlin Krillick. I'm not saying it right. She ran for Congress in 2020.
Really Klasick.
Yeah, I think that one. Yeah. She's cool.
Baltimore?
She's sweet. Yeah, Baltimore. Yeah. Yeah. I interviewed her and stuff. She's cool. She's sweet. And just been talking to her for 5 minutes. It's okay, this girl's feminine. She's sweet. She's genuine. She seems like a patriot. That other girl just seems like a brat. Talked to her for a couple minutes. She's all about followers and drama. She was chasing around some CNN dude, Jim Acosta.
I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah. And he's
actually saw her chasing him around. So that's funny. We were in the same vicinity. Yeah. I didn't take Twitter seriously until after CPAC. So. Okay.
Yeah. You probably walked by me 10 times. I was in the media booth and stuff over there.
Oh, but, probably. Yeah. So I haven't talked to her. I follow her on social media, but okay. So I agree. I think the whole follower count thing is super lame. I would be with people and they would say, "Oh, how many followers do you have on TikTok?" I'm this is are you really asking me? Who cares? I think it's so stupid. I'm just so not like that. People say, "Oh, what do you do?" I'm I make stupid TikTok videos. I think they're stupid. I think they're super lame. And I'm just never impressed with anything that anyone does. And especially myself, I'm super hard on everyone. And it's weird because I'm very confident, but I also am never thinking I do enough. So, but I'm not upset about it, if that makes any sense.
I view myself as an objectivist. I'm random the same way. It's extremely judgmental. So I told you I was judging you, and I'm not kidding. I'm always judging you and everybody all the time. Everything, I have opinions and everything, like you're saying. So it's actually, I think it's a good thing to be judgmental. This is not in a douchebag way.
Right, no, I agree.
Weaponizing the douchebaggery.
Everyone has always told me I'm super judgmental and critical. I can never just be yes, that's amazing. But when I do compliment something or someone, they're wow, coming from you, that is a great thing, because I know how sincere and you're being honest. So I've always been told I'm mean, but I'm just being honest. If you're going to ask me my opinion on something, I will tell you the truth. I've always had problems with girls. "Oh, do you like my outfit?" I'll speak, and they're asking me. I'm not the one saying it. They're asking. They're asking for it.
Do I look fat? Yeah, you look fat. Lose some weight.
Yeah, and they don't want to hear the truth, and that's why I've always said I've had friends be "I don't know if I can be friends with someone as mean as you." Okay, cool, let's move on. All right, we don't need to be friends. But yeah, I'm always judging people, and I actually respect that you're honest about it. Most people are "I'm not judging you." No, I am. We all are judging each other, some more than others, and I'm not doing it in a way to be rude, but I'm just taking mental notes. So be on your best behavior. I'm kidding.
There's an Ayn Rand quote from The Fountainhead. It's not verbatim here, but basically she said it's cruel to be honest, and the more honest you are, the more cruel it is. And it's not she doesn't mean this in a negative sense. It's that basically to be very honest with people, you have to be a fucking asshole. And the more hardcore the truth is, the more of an asshole you have to be. I was recently called by another YouTuber an extreme asshole, which I kind of liked. But that's what it takes.
When people are "You're a bitch," I'm thanks. Yep. It's a compliment. I totally agree with her assessment. And it's not even necessarily all these words. I think what I've really learned reading her is that she will you'll take a word like selfish, or cruel, and it has a negative connotation to it, but it doesn't necessarily need to be. It's the truth. It's the objective truth. Yes, if you're more honest, it's going to be cruel because the truth hurts. If something, like I said, if someone points out a flaw of mine that's actually I believe to be true and it's a true flaw, then maybe that would bother me more than if someone's "Oh, you're a hoe. Well, I know I'm not, so why would that bother me, you know? So
Yeah.
I totally agree with that assessment, and I think that she's spot on with that. And a lot of people say that she was too inflammatory to the point where it hurt her, but for me, I love that. I love the brutal honesty. Like, I love when someone's inflammatory, even if I disagree with you, like, I can respect it. So I personally am attracted to those things. That's what attracted me to Trump, even though I'm more of a libertarian.
Yeah, same. I love the way he was so bombastic and such a fucking asshole.
I
It's
love it.
exactly, his policies are not perfect, but it's exactly what the country needs because it becomes so gynocentric, pussified, basically. It's pathetic.
No, I don't even think he's an asshole. My dad would always say he's such an asshole, but I love him. Like, I don't even think he's an asshole. He responds to attacks on him. He doesn't go after people until they go after him first.
Yeah, exactly. I think Trump does it strategically. So behind the scenes, he's probably actually a really nice guy, but no one's ever going to fucking believe that.
Right.
He knows how to be an asshole and use it as a weapon very effectively.
Right. I agree.
That's how he got elected, basically.
And that's what's good about Ron DeSantis too. He won't take crap from the reporters. He'll call people out. Like, he has that macho, like, strong, tough, male, masculine energy, which is what I really like about him. So
yeah, it's good to see him in Orlando on Saturday. He was here last weekend. I almost got to meet him.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, I got to talk and kind of yell at him and stuff, like make Florida great again, shit like that. So I love him.
You're lucky you're in Florida, but the thing is, I love the Northeast, dick or asshole personality. Like, I just love that personality. That you just F you, don't talk to me, like, brutally honest. I love that personality. Like, I could not be.
Are you aware of the Florida man meme and the Florida women, like the Florida people? Because I'm like a fourth generation Floridian. Yeah, you need to get educated. I'll do some mansplaining for you sometime.
Okay, perfect. What's it about? What, Florida people have a different personality than, like, the Southern sweetheart?
Yeah. Florida people are fucking savage. Like, we have all kinds of Florida people too. There's the beach people, the swamp people, the northern rednecks, the Key West people, the Keys. You got the Miami people. It's almost like
where are you? Not that I know Florida.
Orlando.
Okay. Oh, so that's where CPAC was.
Yeah, that's why it was so easy to go. I'm like, holy shit, I just live here.
It's right there.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, are you going to? There's another CPAC in Dallas, I think.
Yeah, I might go to it. I heard about that on Saturday, the Ron DeSantis thing. I might go. There's also a YAL event that I'm going to go to. YAL, like Young Americans for Liberty in Orlando.
Oh my God. Okay, I don't know anyone going to that, so I'm, like, still deciding if I'm going to go. But I should go.
Yeah. You should go. I'm going. Yeah.
Okay. I don't know.
I got to meet Ron Paul a long time ago and take pictures with him. I actually had him sign my copy of the Declaration of Independence and Constitution, which I'll never forget. But I want to meet Rand Paul, and I haven't met him yet. I think he's cool. He's not quite as savage as his dad, but he's close.
Yeah, so see, for me, I don't really care about meeting people. Like, I just think they're people. Like, I don't care. I also, like, at CPAC, I felt that was, like, my first political event ever, CPAC, and I felt bad for all the people that were bigger names because they were swarmed. They couldn't, like, hang out. Like, they were swarmed by people. I felt bad for them. I would never, like, I have a rule. I won't go up to someone unless they go up to me. So, like, there's someone famous that I know. I'm not going to go up to them. I don't want to act like a fan.
Yeah, I hate that too. It's super gay. So I'll clarify that I'm very thoughtful about how people are getting swarmed by this stuff. I have this in my convention sometimes. Like, maybe these attendees that come to my event, they want to meet me, but I'm running the fucking event. So they don't mean bad.
That's the thing, though. It's like you're putting yourself out there for it to happen, but I just feel bad for the bigger people. Like, I don't want to add to their, like, discomfort. You know what I mean? So
yeah, it's called empathy. Yeah, it's good. It's unusual that women have this today. So congratulations. That's unusual. I'll say too, though, that the reason I like to meet people and take pictures with them is that they're going to die someday. I got to meet, for example, Nathaniel Brandon, who Atlas Shrugged was dedicated to, the original one before him and Ayn Rand got a fight. I got to meet him about a year before he died and spend like 5 hours with him. And I had pictures with him and stuff like that, but it was very memorable. And
that's cool to talk to someone. Yeah. That's like my issue. So I, like, never take pictures when I'm out with anyone. So the only pictures I ever have of myself are either selfies, because I force myself to. That's why you see me post selfies. Yeah. But if it's with other people, like, I don't ever take pictures with them. So it's always on someone else's phone. Like, it's just always a problem. So I suck at that. It's really annoying, especially for someone, like, I want my Instagram feed to not just be, do you follow me? Do we follow each other on Instagram?
I think I follow you on Instagram. Yeah. I don't like Instagram though. I don't like Twitter and YouTube basically.
I hate Instagram. It's such an annoying app, but, like, I just post everything I do on there. But my feed is only videos. Like, most people, it's like mostly pictures and a couple videos. Like, I need more pictures. So it's a struggle. I suck at it. I'm a bad influencer, but I hate that term. So
I think you're doing pretty good. You're navigating all these hierarchies and stuff on Twitter and all the stuff you do. I watch what you do. It's pretty interesting. You're really good at it. Yeah. The Project Veritas stuff. I was asking about that. All these things. You're really good at, it's a compliment. You're good at navigating these hierarchies, basically, is how I would view them as a man, and climbing these ranks and getting your message out there to influence and piss people off.
Yes, I started posting on social media December of 2020. I started doing political TikToks, And then my account got banned. So that's when I started posting them to Instagram. I made my Instagram account literally January 1st. And then I had an old Twitter account from high school. I had to delete all those past tweets, would definitely get me in trouble. But then after CPAC, people were like, bitch, you need to start tweeting if you want to like actually start getting your name out there. Cause like no one's on TikTok besides young people. Instagram's okay, but like Twitter is where it's at if you want to actually meet people. So I just started doing Twitter, and I honestly don't know why I've grown so fast. I don't get it. I feel like it's the woman's privilege. I swear to God, just because I'm like a pretty girl, you know, I get so much more clout than I deserve. I like almost feel bad. Like it's like I feel bad for men.
You basically, you piss off all the feminists, number one, who are all mostly female, but some male. Then number two, all the beta males follow you and stuff because they're attracted to you. So you kind of have a double whammy of these basically likes and stuff.
Right.
As a guy, people don't, unless you really piss people off like Trump or something, or like I try to do, it's hard to get traction like that. But you know, do it.
It's the woman's privilege. I swear to God, it's like I've always, this is why I've always rejected feminism, because you know I've been a girl my whole life. I've only felt like it's brought me a ton of privileges. You know, at college parties. You know, if you're a guy, unless you know someone throwing the party, you know, they don't want you to come in. Girls, please come in. The more the merrier. You know, I've always felt so privileged, and especially with social media, you know, you could just I mean, I don't know any girls that are like my age or even older on like TikTok or any that I'm like impressed with. No offense to them. Like none of them, I don't see any of them as competition. I'm not even whatever. But
oh yeah, I'm gonna pull this tweet. There's so many great tweets. Seth. Let's go on this one. This is a great one. We're gonna pull.
Okay, full tweets.
So I've never seen a woman tweet like this. This was fucking savage. I'm too pretty to be a feminist, and you just start posting selfies of yourself. This is hysterical. So talk to me about what happened. Talk about the line of thinking, the reasoning that went to this tweet.
So again, I just randomly thought of the tweet and I had selfies to post, but I almost didn't tweet it because I hate being like, I'm so pretty. Like, I don't feel like the need to express that I think I'm pretty. Like, I think I'm pretty, but I think it's pretty cringy when people like constantly talk great about themselves. But I was like, okay, to my dad, like he always like, he loves my tweets. He sees all my tweets, whatever. He loves it. And I'm like, okay, is this like funny or is it just like conceited? Which I'm fine coming across conceited, but like
it's hysterical because you're walking that line it's a really thin line and you're walking it like a tightrope. It's good. It's funny.
Yeah. So I just recently like I have like a new show started. Well, we have like the pilot episode out. I don't know if you know. Do you know Gavin Wax? He's the president of the New York Young Republicans Club. I retweet him all the time.
I've seen you tweet him. I think you said Gavin McInnes, but yeah, I've seen that guy. You retweet him.
Yeah, so he's really great. So we have like a show, and actually speaking of Gavin McInnes like reached out to us and is like doing the show with us. But we just recently went on Gavin McInnes's show, and on the show he asks me to rate myself, and
like 1 to 10.
Yes.
Wow.
So I say in between a 9 and a 10, and all the comments are like, fuck this bitch, she's a 7, she's hideous. And I'm like, that's hilarious. And I'm just gonna play up like having like a huge ego and just because people like they hate it and whatever. I think it's so funny. But yeah, that tweet, it is funny, but I was afraid like I don't want to come across like I'm so pretty. But it was about saying I'm too pretty to be a feminist. Like even an average girl that just has like long hair and is feminine is too pretty to be a feminist, you know?
Yeah.
Now I'm above average. I'm kidding.
There's another one you have. The best thing a feminist can do is shut up and get back in the kitchen. Nice.
That's true.
Keeping a real PC.
True.
Yeah.
This is what I'm saying though. Like I am just like waiting for the day for like Turning Point and Prager to be like,
yeah.
Like I don't understand why they're okay. Like I don't get it because Turning Point will like retweet my tweets sometimes, and I'm like, so they're seeing. I don't know if they see all my tweets, but they're seeing my tweets, and I really do walk the line.
Yep. I do the same thing. I have a lot of relationships with speakers I've been doing my thing for 15 years now. So I just have hundreds of people that watch, you know, privately what I do that are important to me, these relationships. And whenever I tweet, I'm like, I wonder what this is going to do for that relationship. And then I'm like, who cares? Tweet.
But same. I'm always thinking like, okay, well, all these people are going to read it. I wonder what they're going to think. And it's, you know what, if they don't get it, then they don't get it. But yeah, I'm shocked that, you know, Turning Point wanted me to be an ambassador. Well, I don't get it.
You asked me a few minutes ago what the definition essentially of the conservaho. And this is
back to that.
So basically what happens to women that do not have integrity is that they might start out like doing what you're doing. This is what the manosphere guys would say, a chameleon kind of thing. I don't think they're correct though. But basically they're savage. Time goes by, they pick up a following and they get retweeted by bigger accounts. They get their videos shared wherever. And basically there comes like a threshold point, a turning point where they sell out. They tone down the rhetoric, they tone down this and that for basically illegitimate reasons just to get more money. So and that's what I mean when I say conservaho. Tommy Lauren's a perfect example. Even if she thought the way you did, which I don't think she does, she would never say these things because it would jeopardize her job. It would jeopardize her career, at least for a short-term period of time. She'd get fired or whatever. She'd have to go to Newsmax or OAN or something. She'd make less money. So her value is basically behind the mask, behind the bullshit, behind the you know, whatever, like garbage. it's fake. And that's fundamentally what a conservative hoe and a conservative bimbo and a MAGA thought. That's what that means. They're fake. They're frauds.
I totally know exactly what you're saying. And this is something I've actually like talked about a lot with my dad, is he's like, you kind of have to make a decision if you're going to like want to make more money and kind of self-censor yourself, or if you want to be completely yourself. And I was like, I want to be completely myself. I mean, obviously I want to make money, right? Like I want to make money. I want to be successful, but I'm not someone that will jeopardize my principles. I'm a very principled person. Like, I don't care. Like, I don't care. People would say it's bad to associate yourself with Gavin McInnes. I don't think that what he's done is wrong. I think the whole stigma around the Proud Boys is all BS. I'm not just going to play by like this media narrative that he's some like white supremacist Nazi. He's not. I don't care. I don't like, fine. You think it's bad for me to associate with him? Cool. I don't care. To be honest, like, yes, if like Fox and all these other shows, like I've been on Newsmax a couple of times, if they asked me to go on, I would go on. But I have no desire to have a show on Fox News. Like, no desire. I actually tweeted out the other day something to the effect of, you know, anyone that is successful in the mainstream media, like lies to themselves, can't be fully themselves, like censors themselves. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. And I also, my personality is not good for it. I think what makes me like different from everyone else is like, I'm very like quick-witted. I say kind of crazy things. It just comes to my mind, and I say things like my first time I was on Newsmax, I didn't even realize I said it until my dad said, maybe you shouldn't have said that on like live TV your first time. But I said, the only person that can change their skin color is Michael Jackson. I don't know why I said that. I don't even think that's that controversial, but it's I guess not. Right, that's what I thought. But my dad was like, I don't know if they're going to invite you back on, which they did. But I don't want to be censoring myself with a, you know, my like humor, which women aren't funny, but you know what I mean? Like my sense of humor, which makes me different from everyone else. I don't want to just be like another clone of another, you know, pretty girl that's talking, reading a prompter. That's not what I want to do.
Another zombie. Yeah. Zombie.
That's not what I want to do. I don't want to be fake. I want to be fully myself. And I was actually talking to Gavin McInnes and like just talking about like relationships he's had with people that like he's still friends with them in the background, but they really don't say that they're friends because of, you know, reasons, you know, money and stuff. And he's like, I get it, like money. And I'm like, you know what? I don't. Like, you're unprincipled, you're phony, like you're a fake friend if you can't stand by someone that didn't do anything wrong. Like, I'm sorry. I don't like, I get money is a great motivator, but it's really hard for me to put myself in a position where I would take a real friendship, put it like hide it for money. I don't know. I don't want to be a fake. I don't want to be a fraud. That's always been against my personality. That's why I was always in trouble in high school, because I was not going to be a fake bitch. So I'm not stopping now.
And you had trouble with your teachers too. You'd probably troll them and fuck with them and stuff.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I know how this goes. Yeah, I know.
Exactly. Oh yeah. No, yeah. It was never good. I like one time made fun of like my math teacher who was a man. I was like, why are you deep throating that banana? This was like sophomore year of high school. Like these things, like these things come to my head and I always take it too far. And I don't want to censor myself. I just don't want to.
Do you have any filters at all? You're just like go, just go.
So, I mean, I always tell people, like, you think what I say out loud is like crazy or, you know, taking it too far. You should hear what I say in my head. Like there's a lot of things that I want to tweet that like, it's not worth it because it's not worth like the benefit of it. Like it's not as funny enough to be worth it. You know, there's a couple things that come to my mind that are like way too
the risk of getting banned or something.
What?
The risk of getting banned or something like that.
Right, like, and that sucks though, because I don't want to be someone that's censoring myself because I don't want to get banned. So let me play by their rules. It's kind of like gay, but at the same time, like if you want to grow, you kind of have to. It's a weird, like I see both sides of it, but again, it's not like I'm censoring myself to the point where I'm not me. Like my Twitter is still kind of crazy. A lot of the things is I want to say something, but I don't like want to swear. Like I don't want to use the F word because I don't want to like come across as like super like, you know, vulgar, which in real life I am. That's the thing I need to fix. But there's a lot of sexual jokes I want to say, but I don't want to come across like freaking porn star or something. But it's like I'm joking, you know. I'm not being serious, but I don't want to come across like that. So in real life, though, I don't really censor myself.
Good. God bless.
I'll never get married.
Okay. Here's a question. So when will she get married?
I'm kidding. Are you married?
No, I was a long time ago.
Did not end well. Does she think you're trash?
No, I left her. I found out she was a prostitute.
Like, what do you mean? Like a not an OnlyFans type thing, but like an actual prostitute?
Escort. She called herself a call girl, technically. There's a speech on it you can go watch, and it's called Marrying Medusa, How to Survive a Female Psychopath. It's got about 500,000 views. It went viral, obviously, for pretty obvious reasons. It's about 2 hours long, too. It's really long. But the first hour is the meat of it.
Wow, you should post like clips of your stuff on TikTok that you already have recorded. It will do well. And like, I don't know if like reels on Instagram. You just repost it all. You could definitely.
I'm really stubborn, as you might have guessed, and I just fucking hate TikTok even more than Instagram. So I might overcome that at some point. But I'm just.
I like TikTok way more than Instagram.
I hate both of them. To me, they're both just like the devil. I mean, a little bit less for Instagram, but I don't know. I like YouTube. YouTube is a very masculine space. It's a lot of men that do it. It's very few women, not that many feminists. It's mostly just assholes and men like me and stuff.
I've heard that. A lot of the demographics, it's kind of interesting to compare demographics of followers from each different platform. And yeah, no, I have a YouTube. I've posted like 2 of my TikTok videos on there. That's it. I want to make YouTube videos, but
you should. Do you know about Shorts, YouTube Shorts? You know what those are?
I've heard about that. What are those? It's
basically YouTube's program to compete with TikTok. It's like very specific, under a minute. And if you just take your TikTok videos and shit like that and put them on YouTube and put hashtag Shorts, you'll make bank like all day long with views.
Wait, really? I can do this right now?
Yeah. Well, I'd appreciate we finish the interview first, but after that, you can go do it.
Yeah, no, I'm going to start posting them right now. But that's awesome because
TikTok, if you just want to fuck off and say fuck the interview, I'm going to go on YouTube and post my own shit. Fuck this guy.
We can start some beef, some fake beef. So I wonder, are there any other conserva hoes? I think that's a really good definition. And I guess you can't tell yet because like you said, they start off like very strong and, flamboyant. So you really only time will tell. But
there's men like this too in conservative circles and the manosphere. Like they're basically just frauds. They'll role play, they're live action role play. They'll kind of pander to people like politicians almost. They're politicians, but they're pandering in more niche markets to gain followers and get money and bullshit. So they pretend to care about the issues, but they fundamentally don't. They don't give a fuck. And the minute there's like a real issue, a real conflict, or money's on the line, they'll fuck off. They'll sell out. They'll tone down the rhetoric. Whatever they have to do to keep the money train going, which I fucking hate. It's super good.
Yeah, I hate that too. You're just like an unprincipled fraud. That's so like against everything I've ever stood for. I don't like it at all.
Yeah.
Who else?
Oh, you can ask about because I don't know. I mean, I don't track conserva hoes. This isn't like a life mission to like hunt down.
Taking a list.
Yeah, I could. I mean, we could. It could be a lot of fun, actually. Maybe I should roast them.
That'd be funny. Like that would be a good YouTube video, like going through my like top 10 conserva hoes or top 5. That would get views. Are you kidding me?
You should definitely do that. Yeah, because you're a chick. So it's gonna be. I could, but given that you're an attractive young chick, it's gonna piss off a lot more people.
Or we could both come up with a 5 list and then compare it.
Yeah, but I'll say this too: it's meeting people in real life that makes it a lot easier for me to tell. My bullshit detector goes like way up in person. That's why when I met that Kent State gun girl, whatever the fuck her name is,
Caitlin.
Yeah, just immediately I'm like bad vibes. And then I saw the Jim Acosta stuff. I'm like, that guy's a fucking scumbag, so fuck him. But I know why she's doing this, and it's not about saving America. It's not about patriotism. It's not about these issues.
Video.
Yeah, and that's just fucking. I hate that so bad.
Me too. No, I totally agree with you, and that's why like whenever I'm with people, I am unable to like make any good content videos or take pictures because I'm just enjoying the moment and just like living in the moment. I totally agree. I've never talked to her. I only follow her, but that's very interesting. I agree with you. The second I can tell, like if you're a good or bad person, someone I like or not, like the second I start talking to you, I can just tell. Good. So I'm with you on that.
I think it's called a woman's intuition is what they call it.
So you have it too?
Not a woman's intuition, not that I know of. Maybe I do. Who knows?
Maybe you do.
I don't think so. I like being a man. I like having I was born with the Y chromosome, penis and balls. It's pretty nice. I like who I am.
So did Caitlyn Jenner.
That's right. Anyway,
I keep tweets and they don't get that much traction. I swear the ones I like the most like don't do well. But I keep tweeting, Caitlyn Jenner has more balls than, whatever. And no one finds it funny. I'm like, no one finds this funny?
Yeah.
I swear there are random tweets that do well.
Sometimes things just fall flat. It's okay.
It's okay. Yeah, like my chest. I'm sorry.
That's pretty good.
I always make small boob jokes on myself. It's like a thing. I don't know. But
it's unfortunate. I'm a boob guy too,
Well, sucks. Really? I feel like everyone today is like an ass guy.
No, they're losers. Anyway, let's back up a second. Let's back up a second.
That's a tweet.
So we were talking earlier about not only, of course, feminism and different angles and stuff. But I really want to ask you this. So you're a different generation than me. You're Gen Z. I'm a millennial. I'm born 1988. You're born 1998. So you grew up as a child in the 2000s. I grew up as a child in the 90s. That's like my decade. How do you think feminism influenced you negatively, if at all, in the 2000s? Like, did you feel something from that? How do you feel about Gen Z girls and how feminism has affected them? Because you were directly engaged in this as a kid.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I just always would say, I don't know what you guys are complaining about. I've always been a girl. I've always been privileged. Like I feel like I've been privileged to be a girl. I said that before. I don't know. I guess all of the women and girls I knew growing up, they just seemed so weak and emotional. And, I remember like even when I was younger, I'd have friends come over and they would end up playing with my little sister because I was just like, I don't want to do this. I was always I know this is kind of off topic, but when you're a little girl, like people want to play pretend, they want to like play like Barbies, they want to play house. And I would say, why do I want to play house? Like, why are we playing a pretend game? I was always against games. That's why, again, I would be the worst mother because I'm like, I think all games are stupid. They're fake.
Jesus.
It's fake. I don't get, like, why are we playing something that's not real?
I don't think you'd be the worst mother. I think you'd be okay. I think you'd be okay.
I'd be so harsh. Like, seriously. Like, I would be so, like, I don't like any movies, anything that's fiction I don't like because it's fake. There's enough interesting things that are real in the world. Why would I waste my time watching something fake? I don't get it.
Do you have any nephews or nieces yet or anything like that? Do you have any brothers?
No. I only have one younger sister. She's 17.
Yeah, so, when you have a nephew or niece someday or your own child, I think you'll soften up a little bit. I have 3 nephews now. They're cranking out like clockwork. I got 2 sisters just pumping them out.
Wow, that's some nuts.
No, I don't think so. I love my sisters very much. So one of them just had a baby, for example, like 2 weeks ago, little Dylan. Mm-hmm. And it's when you're, at least in my case, when my sisters became mothers, it's a very emotionally impactful moment. And you get to see, your own sibling like have a child like that. And it really just puts things in perspective. Similar, I guess, to having your own child, but I don't know directly yet. But it's it's a pretty amazing experience the past couple of years. Yeah, that is true. I mean, I'm sure this is another hot take I have that like no one like understands where I'm coming from. But I'm like, don't ever want to see, and like no one ever knows if I'm rarely upset about things, but you would never know. Like I would never let anyone know. I would, if I'm ever pregnant, giving birth, the only person I want in the room with me is the people delivering. I don't want anyone to see me in pain. I don't want anyone to be there. I don't want them to feel like they're looking at me. I just want everyone F off. You'll see the baby when it's out. Leave me alone. Like that's seriously going to be the circumstances if I ever give birth. So I want to back up another second here and something too. You mentioned your dad. You say he reads all your tweets and stuff. What does your mom think about your online activities, pissing off millions of people and all these things? Beta males, feminists. Does she watch what you do? What does she think about this?
She does sometimes. So another thing is like I started an animal rescue farm with my mom, and I like had to resign from the board and stuff because people would find me, like send her like tweets of mine, videos of mine, and like try to like, these so-called vegans that care about animals. They're like, oh God, you have a right winger that started an animal rescue farm. Conservatives, libertarians, they're not allowed to rescue animals. It's not because they don't really care about the animals. Like they just care about, they want to, just trash these people. They won't be happy until we're like dead. Seriously, gulags, re-educated or dead. So, I mean, she doesn't care. She thinks that you should be able to say whatever you want. But I do feel like the one thing I feel bad about, like, I don't care about getting hate for myself. It does not bother me. I just feel bad about it affecting like people I like or love. I don't want it to affect my mom. She's also like a nurse at a hospital. People will like literally tweet the hospital, like this is who's working here. This is her daughter. Like they just harass her. And I feel bad that it affects her. My sister's like had me block her on everything because like her friends find me and she doesn't want like moms. Like we've had like moms come after me. And so I feel bad that it affects them.
So your little sister is a lot different than you, is from what I'm gathering what you're saying.
Yeah, she's very different from me. She's she's very different from me. Yeah.
And yeah, I know you mean too about like when this went viral back in 2020, like the news articles and stuff. Mm-hmm. My sister is like a manager she was a school principal -- 1 until about a year and a half ago, but she switched jobs to being a manager at a theme park in Orlando. And there's so many people that know her and know me and stuff that they went, the minute they saw me in the news and shit, they were bitching at her, basically trying to get fired from her job, which is pissing me off. Yeah. Right.
And it sucks because like you can handle it, but it sucks that it has to affect other people. Yeah. But here's just reminded me of something where I was always inflammatory. I remember my senior year of high school in my English class. I don't even know why we were doing this. It was such a dumb exercise. But my teacher, she like hated Trump, was super against Trump. And I would always like troll her being so pro Trump. And one day we had like the superintendent in the back of our class watching the class. And for some reason we had to do some child exercise. I'm a senior in high school. I don't know why we're doing this, but we had to draw our hero and then present it to the class. So I literally drew Donald Trump, presented it to my class in front of my teacher that hates him and my superintendent who's like, I'm sure a freaking leftist, and just say why Donald Trump's my hero. Like I was just always trolling people all the time. Also, I never put a senior quote in for my yearbook, never did. And whoever put the yearbook together put Make America Great Again as my senior quote. I didn't put it in. So that's how much like people knew I was always very outspoken and crazy.
Yeah, very hardcore MAGA. In my space in this manosphere community, I'm one of the most politically outspoken. I wish a lot more were, and I think I'm encouraging men to do that by leading by example. But I think you're doing the same for women too, and maybe even as in your schools and stuff when you're younger. You're out of college now too, right?
Yeah. So I don't think that I don't know anyone that's as outspoken as you, or at least in the topics of anti-feminism. I like really don't. Like your tweets are the only ones I'm like, wow, surprised you tweeted that. And I like never get that from other people's tweets. I'm always just like, okay, tweet, scrolling. So
We're on the
yours
same
are like
page.
the only ones that shock me. So
Thanks. I appreciate it.
congrats.
Yeah, I like speaking my mind and speaking the truth, whatever it takes. And anyone who wants to get in my way, then go fuck themselves.
Seriously. Seriously. Please.
So talk to me about the patriarchy. I've seen you tweet a lot about patriarchy. I don't have any tweets pulled up for it at the moment. We can pull up a few though. To all the lovely men out there, please, whatever you do, never date a feminist. Feminism's cancer. But specifically talk to me about patriarchy. What are your views on patriarchy and what do you tweet about it and things like that?
So kind of like depends on what the definition of patriarchy is. Like I feel like the left thinks that patriarchy is, male dominated powers of positions of power. Women are just, they know their place, stay in the kitchen. The man makes the money, the woman, raises the kids, takes care of the house, makes sandwiches and stuff. And why are we demonizing that? I don't understand why that's so demonized. Like women, you don't have to work. You could just raise your family, which is natural for you. Like we're biologically designed to want to raise our family. It's the most natural thing you can do. And the feminists like to demonize it as if it's not a real job. And I think it's probably one of the hardest jobs that you could possibly do. So I think the patriarchy, I think Jordan Peterson talks about this a lot. It's not necessarily negative. All these things that are supposed to have a negative connotation, they're not. It's just they demonize these terms. And I just love using the terms that they hate and just promoting them. I just love it. It's so easy. Yes, that's true.
We must outbreed the insane left. You're one of the only anti-feminist chicks I've seen talk about breeding. So that's your own clap on that one.
Yeah, so, and it's funny because like I said, I don't even have a maternal instinct. My one maternal instinct that makes me want to have kids, and I'm like, I need to pass on these genes, okay? It'd be rude for society for me not to make more of me. We need to outbreed them. Seriously, I guess the one good thing about abortion is that, hopefully conservatives and people on the right tend not to have as many abortions. So maybe there's less of these, a mentality, but still disgusting. It's murder. I don't think these people should be murdered because of their beliefs, but, we really do need to be having, at least 15 kids.
Wow, that's a lot of children. Jesus Christ. I only want half a dozen. I think 6 or 7 would be pretty sweet. One of my friends, Michael Foster, for example, has 7. Or technically they had 8, but it's complicated, but 7. And I think that'd be more.
Yeah, it needs as many as possible, which means I should start having them now.
You probably should. You're extremely fertile at 22. So.
I know. Well, maybe we'll find a sperm donor. I'm kidding. It's gross.
Well, Jesus, we'll see what happens. Happens. Talk to me about, so you mentioned, we're talking about feminism stuff, but this came to mind as well. Do you view feminism as we said it's a supremacist movement, but that aside, do you view feminism as for or against women?
Again, it's weird because it's they claim many things on the left. They claim they're against exactly what they claim to be fighting for. Mm-hmm. So I really think that feminism hurts women more than all. It hurts men too, because in terms of all these sexual assault allegations that come out all the time. If I was a man, I'd be scared as hell to hook up with a girl. So it does negatively affect them. There's declining birth rates. There's not as many families being started, whatever. But it really does hurt women the most because it tells you, don't get married, you don't want to have kids, you don't want to raise a family, go into the workforce, and then by the time they're 40 and they don't have a kid or a husband or whatever, they're like, crap, and now their time's up. There's no going back for them. So I really do think it hurts women by far the most. And I had some tweet the other day, I forget exactly how it was worded, but it was something like the worst misogynists in the world care more about women than feminists do. And I truly believe that they like women more than feminists do.
Yeah, you're right. I saw that tweet. You're right.
Right.
Yeah. I've been talking about this for years, my company and my conventions and stuff, and just keep speaking up, keep speaking the truth.
Where do you have your conventions? Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Where do you have your conventions? Ever in the Northeast?
Never, no. But they've been all around the world. We've had them in Australia. I started them in Orlando. Typically, they're in Orlando. We've done Poland. We've done Sweden. We've done England. We've done Texas.
But no Northeast. You can do Poland, but no Northeast.
Poland's amazing. Poland's fucking heaven. I love Poland so much.
I have zero desire to ever travel anywhere outside the country.
Where have you traveled in America, though?
Literally, the first time I ever went on a plane was for CPAC.
Holy shit.
So.
Damn, your first trip was to Orlando, Florida. Yeah. That's funny.
Yeah, so my parents are always deathly afraid of planes. I just never went anywhere. I have no desire to go on vacation just to chill. I would go somewhere for an event. I don't understand. I can't just sit there and do nothing all day. That just seems like a waste of my time.
Yeah, interesting. It's very, very masculine mindset.
Yeah, I just don't get it. It doesn't make sense to me.
Anyway, we do them in Orlando typically. It's where I founded the company in 2006. I just got out of high school. I was 17 years old. So
wow.
Typically I do them in Orlando. Yeah, it's been 15 years now. Thanks. And there's going to be 3 of them coming up here in Orlando. That'll be
3?
Yeah.
Wow.
So we do one for women, one for men, and one for fathers. And then together we call it 21 Summit. It's got 3 conferences inside of it. It's anywhere from like 50 to 100 people per event, sometimes more if we do one at a time. We used to do one at a time, but then COVID fucked everything up last year. So I had to combine them into one. It actually worked out really good. Because then you have like fathers there that are focused on patriarchy. It's called the 21 Convention Patriarch Edition.
I
Rebuilding
love
the
it.
patriarchy. Yeah.
I love it. I love anyone that goes there. I know I just love, because if you're taking the time to go there, something that's called that, then we're gonna be homies. That's just how it is.
Yeah. I'm excited too. This year is gonna be our 15-year anniversary, and I just got recently a lot of speakers confirmed, but one of the big ones, Ian Smith, that gym guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like him a lot. He loves my stuff and all my hats and shit. He keeps like posting them on Instagram and stuff.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'll definitely post it too. Not that I have like a huge following or anything, but maybe.
You should actually. So I saw that you should wear this hat on your censored TV show. This will piss a lot of people off. This will be really great.
I look terrible in hats for some reason, but I will try it. I will do it. I'll do it. I don't know. I feel like I can't see. I look really weird in hats and glasses, like any sort of glass, sunglasses. I just think it looks so weird, but it's usually hats and glasses make ugly girls look a lot better though. So. Okay.
I did not know this. It makes sense. Covering stuff up. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, women are so good at manipulating all that bullshit, angles and Photoshop and filters and apps now.
Oh, I know. I actually, because I feel like I can't get myself to look like how I look on camera. I feel like I look so weird. Like right now I'm looking at myself, I look so weird. Like I don't know. I think I look bad in camera and like photos and videos, whatever. And like, I'm always like, how do these girls, why are they catfishes?
Here's what's interesting about you is you use like, a lot of guys are bitching, you use like all this makeup and stuff. But what's interesting about you is you go back and forth. You swing to these extremes. You have a lot of makeup. I'm not going to comment on it publicly or whatever. But then you go full like zero makeup, and this is unusual.
Yeah. So this is something like it's very annoying because people. I mean, not that I really care. I mean, people are just going to hate. But if I post anything with makeup, they're like, "You don't need all this makeup." Or I've had a comment being like, "Wow, you're so different with makeup on." I'm like, "Yeah, that's the point of makeup. Thank you." Yeah. But like I literally never used to wear makeup. Like when I got out of college, I didn't use makeup for like months. And then when I started posting stuff, I'd be like, okay, maybe I'll put on like mascara. And then I was like, okay, well, I guess putting on makeup is not that big of a deal. And like, you can look a lot better in a video if you wear makeup, obviously. But I also don't care to post absolutely no makeup. Like, I don't care. I think I look good without makeup too. But obviously I look better with makeup, or, so I can do both. But yeah, people are very obsessed with when I wear makeup. They have to tell me, you don't need to wear all that makeup. I'm like, I know. I chose to. Like, there's videos. All my old videos are like no makeup. This is like a new thing. Now what I'll do is I'll do makeup a few days and I'll record all my videos those days. Cause like, I just want to, if I'm doing my makeup, I want to get the most out of it. So I don't know, but I don't care to record videos without makeup on either, clearly.
What's interesting is that this will sound basic, but you have like the courage to just, wear makeup and then not wear makeup. Most girls that would wear the amount of makeup that you do would never post a fucking video without any of it. They're terrified of it.
Right. Because
you just do whatever you want. It's interesting.
Right, because there's like a difference, but I'm like, I don't care. I don't know what it is. I think it's just 'cause I'm very confident. There's nothing that people are gonna like comment that are really gonna bother me. Like I'm just gonna keep doing what I do, and yeah.
Let's back up to feminism again. So, do you think that any Republican women should be feminists, or is that completely retarded?
Yes, I think it's retarded.
Okay.
So yeah, so no, I don't think they should be feminist, and yes, I think it's retarded. Okay,
good.
So yeah.
Let's argue about something else. 19th Amendment. I've seen you tweet pretty aggressively against this, which is unusual. We're sort of on the same page, sort of not. So, for example, I think we're on the same page fundamentally that there are very serious and extreme consequences that are very dangerous, like lethally dangerous to women voting, and that these were not considered or taken seriously when women got the right to vote in America and elsewhere in the world too. And I think that women voting indefinitely, this kind of thing it'll kill nations, America, Canada, whatever. So I think I'm with you on the outcomes of women voting, especially detached from a similar responsibility, like getting drafted. I'm against the draft, but until it's done, it's kind of a thing.
Right.
Anyway, talk to me about, you're very vocal about abolishing the 19th Amendment. So talk to me about your position on that, and we can kind of argue about it.
All right. So let me just start out with this. Voting is inherently immoral. The idea like democracy is immoral. The idea that a mob can come together and vote away your freedom and liberties is immoral. So let's put that aside. Second, I actually don't think that, if we're going to have voting, I do think that every legal citizen should vote. So it's more of like a troll. I think with what you were getting at is you agree of the consequences of women voting being bad for America. I'm with you. But I do think if we're going to have voting, women should be able to vote. But I can also say at the same time that the consequences are awful because they're emotional voters. They vote overwhelmingly for Democrats. And if they weren't voting, guess what? We probably would have a lot more of a conservative direction going towards the country. So, but I do think if we're going to voting, they should have the right to vote. But not good for us.
And is that because fundamentally you want to treat Americans equally based on the way they're born, or something like that? What is the reason that you want to see women have the ability to vote? I mean, men and women are different. I think we can agree on that. Fundamentally different. That's my view.
But I mean, I really judge people based on who they are as individuals. If you're a legal citizen, I mean, even better, if you contribute, if you're a legal citizen that contributes to taxes, if we're going to have voting, I think it's immoral, but if we're going to have it, then you should be able to vote. You should have to contribute to the pot. You should not have to contribute to money that you can vote away. So I think if you're a legal citizen who contributes to taxes, you should be able to vote. Those are the requirements. She's a mano chick. What's that mean?
That's a new term I've never seen. This is a brand new Frankenstein term. It's interesting. Mano chick. I think it's a positive term. I'm not sure though. Maybe this guy can. I know this. I just realized I know this guy. Is a personal friend of mine. It's pretty funny.
That is funny.
Yeah, I'm like,
not funny enough to make me laugh, but like you, but it was funny.
Yeah, I know this guy. This is the guy who made the thumbnail.
Okay.
I think he's just trolling. Yeah, this is a good friend of mine. Yeah.
Good. So do you agree with me then, like on my assessment of?
Yeah, we're on the same page more than I thought. It's difficult to tell sometimes when you're trolling or not because you walk this line, very thin line. And with abolishing the 19th, I'm like, maybe she's serious. Like some girls say that. Yeah.
So this is something that even happens in real life. People are like, okay, I can't tell if you're joking or not, and I love it. I love that people can, because I never laugh, so like I'm always like just like same character. I never really break laughing, so I would have been a great actress because I can control my emotions. I can make myself cry thinking about something sad, but I can make myself stop. Like I'm very good at controlling that. So people never know whether my tweets or me in person if I'm joking or not, which I love having that power over people.
Yeah, I can tell. I'm hearing you. I can tell. This is so interesting. Yeah, I think I've seen you laugh on the show. We'll have to go back and look at the recording and see.
Yeah, it's fake. I've learned to. It
was all fake. Oh no, I got.
I have to, or else it seems like I'm like a rude bitch. I'm trying to come across somewhat, nice.
Okay.
I am nice. I can still think something's funny without it being funny enough to make me physically laugh out loud.
Okay. So, but we're on the same page regarding 19th Amendment. It's the outcomes and consequences of women voting that need to be shut down pretty hard. We need to find a way to do that. But yeah, I don't want to. I think it's dumb too to remove the ability of someone to vote based on the way they're born. Like you're saying, if they're a legal citizen, it's fun. Exactly. We have a super chatter too. The 19th Amendment was a joke because it didn't give all women the right to vote, women of color. That's a good point.
Yeah, this is something where a lot of modern day feminists will attack the feminists of the 1920s for women's suffrage, that they would say that they were racist, which I think there is some sort of a sense of that, where they cared about the white woman's right to vote. They didn't care about women of color or birthing persons of color's right to vote. So yeah, I agree. I mean, again, it goes back to like I treat people as an individual. If you're an individual who is
oh shit,
yeah, that's it.
Sorry, I cut you off the stream on accident. My bad.
How dare you? Silencing women.
They need to be silent anyway. That's where they belong.
That's true.
Quiet, silent. No one should teach them how to drive or read, all that garbage. I don't know who does.
No, the only time a woman's mouth should be open is I won't finish the sentence. See, these are things that I want to tweet.
Yep. You could probably tweet that. You could probably tweet that. Well, I don't know what the consequences are going to be, but I don't think you'll get banned.
It's just so many people are going to think I'm like a slut. I'm just joking. Like I'm not like really like, You
have so many haters. You might as well just fuck it. Like who cares? Like you mentioned TikTok. I've literally never downloaded TikTok. I probably never will. I fucking hate it.
So good.
On Instagram though, you have a shit ton of fucking hate. At least this one video I found. Yeah, it was nuts.
Which one? I have to go look at it.
I think it was the small Instagram you have. You have like two of them. It was one of the small ones. These dudes are just bitching and bitching and bitching.
Huh. I'll have to check out that post. I don't know.
You have so many videos too. Honestly, I have no fucking idea like which one.
So. I know. I just post like every shitty TikTok I make on Instagram because I'm like, I'm just gonna get the most use out of it. I'm just trying to, whatever I do, I just want to get the most use out of it. So.
Yeah. Then there are amendments of the Constitution you want to abolish. 16th Amendment, anything else that you actually mean too. You're not even joking around. Any other hardcore political positions like abolishing an amendment that these guys should know about watching?
Not that comes to mind. I mean, I think the founders really did create the most, beautifully as perfect as you could possibly be, like written document that can be applied, the principles eternally. Obviously, the left applies them completely wrong. The progressive Supreme Court justices or even just judges around the country that will say it's a living, breathing constitution, which basically means we can make it mean whatever we want it to mean right now, which is so stupid. Yeah. My only criticism of the Constitution is that, I love it if it was followed, but no, I don't think there's any other amendments that I would Is there any? I don't like know them all off the top of my head though, so I have to read
There's
up on that.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, I would definitely abolish the 16th Amendment. That's the to tax income tax. So fuck that.
Oh, okay, yes, yes.
Yeah.
See, I didn't even know that. So yes, I
There's
agree
a
with that.
there's a couple more. I think it's the 20th Amendment. I think I don't know. I could have to look it up. But basically, it changed the way we elect senators.
Oh,
Senators.
yes. It used to be like you know, you would vote for people that would end up voting for the senator, and not that
Yes.
everyone just votes for the senator. So yeah,
Yes.
no, I agree with you. So it's more of I don't really know if it's really the electoral college, but it's not really based on like a democratic approach.
It's an amendment, is what it is to the Constitution that changed it. It was about 1900 or something like that. Don't quote me on the date, but
Right. It's more it's kind of recent in terms of the history of America. But yeah, no, I totally agree. The consequences of that have been the whole purpose of the Senate was to protect the minorities. It's different versus, the House of Representatives, which is based on proportion or no popularity. And the Senate is based on proportion. So they kind of like messed it all up.
Yeah. Do you want to outlaw abortion? Would you do that given the ability to, or do you hope the Supreme Court rules in on that and just knocks that out completely?
Yeah. Because this is why I'm not a full anarchist, because I think the primary role of government is to protect life, and life supersedes liberty. You don't have the liberty to just go murder someone. And if we agree that it's murder, because it's a life, so you're murdering a life, they can't fight back, then that's like one of the most basic things that should be outlawed. Now the consequences, that's like a whole different topic, because there's people, people say, oh, we don't want to lock up the mothers, we want to lock up the doctors. But I mean, realistically, if we're agreeing that it's murder, the mother murdered, she hired the hitman. Yeah. So if you're being logically consistent, so I don't know what that's the hard thing. I don't know what I would prefer, or want the consequences to be. Do you have an answer for that? That's something I struggle with. Or do you even think it should be outlawed? Start there.
I appreciate the courtesy of the respect. Yeah, I think abortion should be outlawed. Let me say this. I don't think it's a federal issue. The Supreme Court should have never weighed in on it in the first place. I think this is actually Trump's position too for a long time. If I'm not mistaken, we can look that up. But yeah, I don't think the federal government has no business dealing with it unless and until there's a constitutional amendment. 10th Amendment, for example, pushes all these things explicitly to the states. So it should be a states' rights type of issue for each state to determine. Now, there could be a constitutional amendment for it that gets made, but those are hard to get passed.
Right.
Would I like to see that? Potentially. The issue with federalizing things is once you bump it to the federal government, people want to, for example, I love guns, but people always want to federalize, constitutional carry nationwide with the federal government. And to me, that's dangerous, because if 10 years go by and you get a super hardcore, again, Democrat left-wing thing, they could then pull that, then the states are fucked, because you've punted it to the federal government. So it's dangerous. It's dancing with the devil, basically.
I totally agree with you. So something I always do, and this kind of stems from my whole moral political philosophy, is I always, I treat people how I want to be treated. And I always try to put myself in the other person's shoes. If I have a friend that's complaining about a situation, I'll put myself in the shoes of the person they're complaining about, and not just take their side or whatever to be devil's advocate or whatever. I will truly tell, if my friends are wrong in a situation, I'll tell them. I'm loyal to people, but if they're wrong, I'll be you're wrong. And I'm not just going to be, take your side because we're friends. I don't care about that. I'm principled, whatever. So I take the same approach to where you have to always picture the worst case scenario if the other side's going to do it to you. So, okay, I would love to federally outlaw abortion, because, we should not be legalizing murder. Yep. But the second you grant that power to the government, just imagine it's the worst person that can also now take that power. So I always say too, and I truly believe this, that most people would be fine having a dictator as long as it's their preferred dictator. So they'd be fine with a dictator as long as it was, pushing out policies that they want. But you always have to remember, the second that you grant your government or someone that power, just picture the worst possible person taking that power and now being able to do whatever they wanted. Do you want that? No. Yeah. So that's why you should want federalism and leaving all these decisions to the states, because it makes it a lot harder to have such a broad impact on everyone. And you can more easily move to a different state that you agree with versus a different country, which we're probably still the best country in terms of freedoms and stuff.
Yep. Especially in Florida. I fucking love it. I'm amazed how good DeSantis is. I voted for him in 2018. I thought he'd be a little bit better than Rick Scott, but he's been fucking savage. I love it down here. Yeah, he really represents Florida. Ron DeSantis is a Florida man to the bone. That dude is peak Florida man. In a positive way. Yeah,
he definitely embodies the Florida man persona. So he's been very impressive.
Yep. Yeah, he's been. I love him so much.
So cute.
Let's argue a little bit more about Ayn Rand. So we were talking about Ayn Rand earlier, and you mentioned, and I've seen you tweet about it, and you mentioned it here on the show too. You're talking about movies and art and people pretending you don't ever want to spend your time on that. So I think you should actually look into, if you haven't, Ayn Rand's views on art. It would actually, I think, it would challenge what you currently believe a lot. For example, there's a famous quote she said that art is fuel for man's soul. And obviously she was a fiction writer, which is art. Atlas Shrugged is art. It has a lot of philosophic takes in it that are very important to Ayn Rand.
The only exceptions I've made, Fountainhead and Atlas Shrugged.
Yeah, I promise you, though, there's more out there. She loved art. She considered herself both a novelist and a philosopher equally. And she was adamant about that because people always want to pigeonhole her one way or the other. Like, for example, on this show, I titled it Liberty, Extremist, and Anti-Feminist. To me, those seem to be both very important to you. That's why I titled it that way. And people might want to box you in eventually to one or the other. But if they're both important to you, you should keep both of them in your limelight.
They both are, like, as equally. I mean, maybe I would say the liberty thing is more important to me out of everything, but I do talk about feminism a lot, and it's very important to me. So yeah, I definitely will read up on that because, I have taken some different approach towards art. I would never go to like an art gallery, whatever, but I have seen, because that's why the whole paleo thing, I love like the traditional art, like the, Roman art, traditional type things. Like I love that. And whenever I see like art pieces like that on Twitter, I'll like retweet it. Cause I'm like, oh, that's so beautiful. And it just shows how like disgusting, like everything in, the modern society has become. So I have like grown to appreciate it, kind of in rejection of the modern takeover of, buildings and architecture and art. So I have grown to appreciate it a little bit more.
Yeah, and when I was younger too, I would have said the same thing. But as I've aged, and especially as I've seen the woke left and these feminists and all these fucking weirdos, they attack art for a reason because it undermines the culture. Whether it's movies, used as propaganda, or even just making everything bland and boring, it makes life less interesting.
Right. No, I totally agree with you.
Yeah, and there's more too. The Fountainhead, there's a movie, for example. You should watch it.
My dad has said that. Yeah.
It's really the Atlas Shrugged movies suck. They came out in like 2000s or I don't know, 10 years ago or something. They're pretty shitty. At least they got made, but The Fountainhead was savage. Ayn Rand personally wrote the script for it and she didn't direct it, but she was present for like the whole fucking set. Every scene, everything throughout the movie, she loved it.
So yeah, Michael Malice is a huge Rand fan. He has all of her books and he has her like original copy of The Fountainhead. He's like a collector of all of her stuff. So he's like a huge, crazy like Ayn Rand fan. So you should definitely look up. He's great. He's very funny. He's also a troll, but he's like a walking encyclopedia. He was born in like the Soviet Union, Russia.
Damn. So I'm actually looking at an original copy of The Fountainhead in front of me right now too. I have one too.
Oh wow! So you have like one of there's how many of them? There's like 10 or something. I don't know.
Not that early. It's the first edition, like the first year it came out.
Oh, okay.
The first 10. Jesus.
Okay. Well, he has like one of the first 10. Like he's like crazy. So
yeah. I'm not that. I love Ayn Rand, but I'm not going to go buy. I'm not going to hunt down $10,000 book or some shit. I don't care.
Same. I don't care. Again, I don't care that much either. I would never I wouldn't even need like an autograph. I'm like, it's a signature.
Yeah. So let's start closing out. Yeah, it's interesting. Let's start closing out here. So, what are the plans you have for your life coming up? You're 22. You've been obviously working with Project Veritas. I'm seeing that. You're working with PragerU. Turning.
What do you think of that video?
Oh, the music video. Yeah, that was pretty hardcore. I love James O'Keefe. He's cool. He's peak awesome. Alpha male right now. Yeah.
What was that?
He's peak alpha male. He's peaking in his life. He's fucking kicking ass.
He's doing great. And yeah, that video, I'm like not a dancer or anything. I thought I was going to have to dance and do choreography. Thank God I didn't have to, because I would have looked like such an idiot, because I just can't, I can't take myself seriously. But yeah, no, he's awesome. I don't know. So
that video though, that video really pushed. I was laughing my ass off when I saw it. So it really,
can't watch it.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, it's fun. It's good. It's just like, damn, this pushed it like so far, so hard.
If he wasn't doing what he's doing now, he would be like in theater. Like he was like made for that. He like loves that stuff. Like loves like the dancing and Prince and like that sort of thing. So not what I like. It was like the first Prince song I've ever heard. So not my thing. But obviously, I would love like working with James and Project Veritas. They're doing the hard work. Like they're actually making a difference. So I love what they're doing.
Yep. Yeah, I invited James the other day. I met some of the Project Veritas guys at CPAC, and I want James to speak at my men's convention to the men. Not even about. Well, sort of a Project Veritas, but the story and what he's done to do that, I think is very heroic.
And I totally agree. He's awesome. Like I really. So you're friends with him?
No, I haven't met him or anything. No.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he
tried to fist bump me at CPAC, and I was filming shit. I missed it. I felt bad. I was like, oh, I love this guy. I just fucked this guy over. Jesus.
Yeah, he should definitely speak at your thing.
Yeah.
I don't even know what I would like. I don't even know what I would say. Like that's the thing. I feel like everything I do is so stupid. Like what would I say?
It's up to you. Now you have to speak to the woman. You can't speak to the men. You can only speak to the women. We don't
I know.
Oh, God. Women's planning. No women's planning in our conventions.
I know. I don't want to like go hang out with a bunch of women.
there'll be other events going on, at the same time. You'll see other people there. But the women there, they're mostly, there's a few feminists that come to fuck around or whatever. They don't cause any problems. I wouldn't let them just kick them out. But it's a lot of women who are very anti-feminist. I mean, fundamentally, like Make Women Great Again is positive for women. It's positive femininity. Then it's anti-feminism to the bone. And I want to abolish feminism. That's like one of my goals in life over the next 30 years.
That's a great goal.
Thanks. The women there, though, they're very much, they wouldn't be there. They have to fly. Most of them don't even live in Florida. They fly in from around the world and the country and stuff. So, and the same for the men's events. So it's like-minded people that are really like, fuck feminism.
They're so passionate that they are willing to fly to go to this convention.
Yes, exactly. Travel, like, you went to CPAC. It was a big deal for you.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, oh, it's such a trip to have to go to Florida.
Yeah. For me, it's like 20 minutes, so it's pretty easy.
Yeah, it must be nice. Privilege.
Oh, yep. And I go to the beach, 45 minutes. I fucking love it. One of my friends actually lives at the beach, is watching the show right now, Tony Bruno.
Oh, really? Yeah. I mean, the beach is okay. I don't really like sitting out there doing nothing all day.
Yeah, I love the beach. It's fucking amazing.
I like getting tan.
Yeah. Yeah, you were talking about the orange thing or something on your Instagram, I saw.
Oh yeah, no, people always love it. There's like some filter on TikTok and I love using it because I get so many comments, orange, you're so orange, like your favorite dictator or whatever. I'm like, yep, orange like Daddy Trump. That's exactly what I'm going for. Thank you. I'd rather be orange than pale.
Yeah.
I'm not really orange. It's a filter.
Are you like Italian or something, or what are you?
Yeah, so I'm allegedly, from what my parents tell me, I don't want to be a liar like Elizabeth Warren. I want to take a DNA test because I feel like, what if I'm lying? Like, what if I'm going to get Elizabeth Warren? But so I'm allegedly 50% Italian, 25% British. People think I'm Irish because of Riley. It's British. And this is like the wild card. I'm 25% Egyptian. That's the wild card. So allegedly.
You're like an African American. Okay.
I'm literally an African American. I'm African.
African American. Yeah.
I'm African. I'm literally Black.
Yep. Congratulations. Yeah.
I know.
You're climbing the victim hierarchy ranks like hardcore here.
It's amazing. I actually want to make a video like talking about how African I am just to piss them off.
You should.
I know.
Yeah, I had the DNA test done a couple years ago, and I found out I was 15% Jewish, which was a surprise.
That's a shame. Okay. I don't feel like paying people $100.
Fuck you, you Jew hater.
I like don't want to pay $100. Like that's the thing. Like I want to know, but I don't want to pay $100. Like I'd rather get clothes.
Yeah, it is what it is. Anyway, it's been a lot of fun talking to you. It's been a great interview.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah. So people should follow you, for example. Where should they follow you? You're on Twitter here, obviously, Isabella Riley. Let me pull this up.
Yeah, it's Isabella Riley US. And then on Instagram and TikTok, it's Isabella Riley USA. It's too long for Twitter, and I can't get one streamlined, username across all platforms. Drives me crazy, but that's where you can find me. I'm probably the most active on Twitter. So definitely the most active on Twitter. I mean, correct.
And then your giant TikTok, yeah. So you had one banned too. You still at 131K here. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, TikTok's okay. It's fun, but I mean, it's fun. It's fun. TikTok's fun, but it's super random.
Cool.
Yeah.
Anything else you'd like people to know, or where to find you? You're on YouTube. What's the username for YouTube?
Well, I mean, I don't even know what my username on YouTube is. Like, Isabella Riley. I don't even know. Like, I just posted 2 TikToks on there a while ago, but I do have a new show on Censored.tv with Gavin Watt. Yeah, we have the pilot episode out right now. It's like 52 minutes of us arguing, which is how it will be pretty much because he's more of a populist conservative. I'm a, libertarian. So we agree on most things. Like we want the same things, but we have also many disagreements about government intervention and stuff. So yeah, definitely watch that. You can also watch like our appearance on Gavin McGinnis's show. That show is like called Compound Censored, and you can see me uncomfortably try to rate myself. So
yeah,
we'll read the comments. Those are great comments. The comments roast me. They're amazing. Yeah. Love it.
You seem skilled, and I admire it. Just pissing people off and angering people and all these shock things. It's very useful, like Trump does. So it's good.
I love it. It's a guilty pleasure of mine.
Yeah. I want to wrap up. All right, everybody else watching, I appreciate all the comments and the chats, super chats, all those things. Follow me on Twitter at Beach Muscles and Instagram Beach Muscle 65. I don't really like Instagram, but I do post some stuff. And of course, subscribe to the channel. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Isabella, you can stay on the line. I'm gonna end the stream now. Okay. Peace out, guys, and tune in tomorrow for Red Man Group. Actually talking about art with Arthur Kwan Lee, a conservative artist, Trump guy, up in New York. Looking forward to it. Isabella, thanks a lot. I appreciate your time.
Thanks for having me on.